if they eco this, then we're going to be down 14-8. You've got to then start to produce a massive comeback, maybe 6 rounds just to start to work your way back into things. And that doesn't look ideal on a map LDLC now have started to wake up on. Certainly a slow start, but most of CT went their way. All of T side has gone their way. And that's the crazy side. Now just go for this lighter option of weapons, mainly pistols. It'll be about the nade down to that. Ideally was so good, but they just can't get anything. Psycho has to play the safer option as body also comes off better.
In terms of damage, he does, but they want to re-aggress here. Crazy can find real damage. Afro lucky to stay alive. A recovered rifle by the CTs adds yet more firepower to their roster. So 2 hero rifles instead of 1. And the Deagles have already found a kill. They can still claim victory in the round if they play it right on the way into A. The key has to be getting at least 2 kills. 3 is the target, but if they can find 2 on the way in, Crazy can still win the round.
Afro and body, they're so low HP. This could be such a devastating outcome if LDLC don't find anything. Sixer eliminates Toxic. We're not really looking for the trade kills. If they are, they're doing it quite late. And that's ideal from Sensei. Needs to really get a couple more to make this winnable. But an AWP peek on the other side. The timing perfect. Because that bomb gets dropped in an awkward scenario. Crazy. They now just about are on top on what started as an eco. It's one they could still scrape and somehow come off better in.
Body's in the bomb site. Or rather, he's watching the bomb site. Sixer inside, planting to boot, but Psycho's found his Guardian now. Sixer has to win the 1v1. Serg is thinking about peeking the angle. The Flames have missed their mark, but it doesn't matter. The AK shots land and Crazy invest nothing. Other than the AK, it felt like that they saved from the last round, and they managed to turn it into a victory. 13-9 scoreline, an economic boost as well. The opportunity with the buy to come back into this matchup, but LDLC with a very healthy bank are going to have multiple full buys to try and deny Crazy a way back into this map.
It was an economic boost on an eco round from Crazy's point of view. Finally, they strike back in what felt like the time they really had to turn up if they wanted Inferno to still maybe come off better in their way. And look at that, they've got 2 AWPs out, Sergers and Sensei. They're going to be the 2 players opting to utilize those. Sergers for now will just have to play the safe option. And in fact, there goes your banana control if you're Crazy. It's a change of pace. It's one that certainly gives LDLC maybe an explosive approach towards the site, but the AWP missing now might give them some sort of opening. A couple of players here, and that's crisp and certainly clean from Sergers early on.
Necessary as well. Psycho with the second, hunting for the third, but the flash is perfect. Denying the kill. Lambert's found a second on the way in now as well, but Afro burning in. The Flames could fall if Dem decides to spam. He can look here, finds the kill as well. Lambert with the bomb is found through the smoke. It all falls apart for LDLC, who send Haji aggressive towards CT. He waits in the wings, but they expect it. Double digits will go the way of the CTs. They hold on against the first full buy, and the second is well on the way.
This is a perfect time really for now Crazy to not only build up their bank, but build up some momentum. It's another full gun round where LDLC have been a lot more favoured and a bit more fortunate of late. So this is the first time really Crazy will have to be challenged on the CT end of things. At least in the first time for quite a while. If you're LDLC, you at least have money going forward. You'll have the AWP on Sexer, you'll have AKs in support of it. You need to go for this opening kill. That might give you the advantage, and for Crazy, they can't be giving up an early kill, at least from my point of view.
Not at all, especially with the double AWP investment in this round. They'd be able to scavenge a full buy in the next, but 14 to 10 fighting to prevent map point is a high pressure environment to be in, and one they can avoid with a round victory here. Toxic aggressive on the AK, looking to punish Hadji, but has to fall back. He knows that. The rest of LDLC angling for banana control, but it'll be a while before they get it. Nearly 40 seconds gone into the round before they gain this region of the map. Circus is up, still waiting in the wings, but it's quite wide out on the angle. If he gets flashed off, he could be in trouble. Lands the shot, falls back in, but gets found on the retreat. Psycho needing at least one, won't get any. And Crazy have to 3v4 retake the B bomb site. They don't even want to do it. They want to go and save on A. But Hadji's here to deal some economic damage.
Oh, if Hadji gets maybe 1 or 2 kills off this wouldn't be an ideal end to the round for Crazy. In what felt like this might have been the time that they could have been turning up to really keep this second half closer. Gonna be a tough ask going forward, and Hadji, I guess you can say, is opting to play it safer. Doesn't look to overreact, doesn't look to overextend. Another push can start to come in. There's somewhat a bit of money built up for quite a few players, so at least one of them dropping wouldn't be a massive concern. But now up to 14, the French side in control swiftly. Maybe after time they wanted something. And Crazy, I think they have to force around this.
They absolutely do. They need to deny map point with 3 rifles left alive. LDLC were looking to try and deny them, but their own economy in such a tentative position that if 3 of them pushed there and lost out on those engagements, they could still be broken monetarily by Crazy's victory in the following round. So they keep them all alive instead. And this is the real high pressure moment for Crazy. They lose this round. Sensei still has a decent bit of cash built up. Psycho to boot, but it won't be the perfect buy. And they'd be needing 5 in a round to force overtime. So realistically speaking, winning the round sooner rather than later is definitely the objective for these Ukrainian players.
And it's always felt that whenever Crazy have been forced into a retake scenario, they've not been given maybe the best opportunity to really work with it. Psycho was so lucky to really escape that. There won't be any nades really to support his potential death, but for now, an ideal start, at least in terms of map control. And now with DemQ rotating in towards the B site, it certainly means the A site is going to be that favourable option. The nade isn't perfect, but LDLC now look to maybe take A cleanly.
Toxic boosted up, flashed off though, unable to find the early kills. Eventually the French capitalize on him and now look to find his teammate. Sensei defending the A bomb site. He holds, he waits with his AWP in tow, but instead LDLC migrate towards the B bomb site where there's a slightly more intense crossfire, waiting to deal with the situation. Bodies found the kill on A though. That could still prompt the rotation over, but instead LDLC are trying to sell the fake. They push into B. They want to put the bomb down here instead. Crossfire now given away, but it's done decent damage. Finds the second kill, and the USPS Afro on just 12 could have fallen, but he narrowly survives, and Psycho in the 1-on-2 to deny map point. Opening AWP shot whiffs, but the AK tight right has to do the job. It will do so. LDLC 1 away from their map pick.
Body needed to get... It really felt like if they wanted that round better, he just wanted a second kill, and that's where Crazy should have come off better, and they had the advantage in terms of numbers up towards the B site defensively. Because Body wasn't getting anything, that push just kept on getting delayed and slowed down. And that was one of the reasons why LDLC just approaching the site looked really weak and didn't look too confident. They did well to at least convert it. 2 in a row for them means now they've at least got map point on their home turf in their favour. Crazy. They're going to have 5 in a row if they want to somehow at least have a say in this map pick. And considering it started off quite well for them, it went downhill relatively quickly. LDLC, the French squad, they have woken up and are certainly in control now.
They have woken up indeed. On average, statistically, the French actually more powerful on this T side than their CT, and we're seeing exactly that be replicated on Inferno at the moment. Vertigo up next, guaranteed, but LDLC with one map in reserve. If they can convert here, looking to deny overtime in this one, but they've lost the first kill at least to Sensei's AWP, which has been inconsistent so far on Inferno. Body and Sixer reply in a huge way, and the only players who can stop this are the pushers from Banana. Lambert's already found one of them, and Sergis is the last Ukrainian hope in this map.
Well, a big hope, a lot of work to do, and Lambert isn't going to be letting him escape whatsoever. Just holding the smoke. It's an easy cleanup. And despite Crazy having the advantage, they fall short here on Inferno. LDLC, the victors. LDLC one map ahead in this series. And with now Vertigo on the line, Crazy, this could be a good time certainly to step up.
Absolutely, they should have to. When you look at the statistics of Vertigo, it does indicate that this will be Crazy's advantage through and through. We'll have to see whether they can come back or not in map 2 just after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. system online.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 9 to 5. It's map 2 of LDLC versus Crazy. LDLC picking up their map pick of Inferno, and now we have Crazy's pick of Vertigo up next. On the mic is myself, Protalis, and joining me, as always, is Louis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and realistically, this is one which I'm not sure what we can expect out of this LDLC camp. We were looking at this veto before the match, and we were saying how we felt that this one specifically always seemed like it was going to be one that was a pick in terms of hatred for Vertigo and LDLC and not playing it. A punish pick is the word I was looking for.
There we are. You're absolutely right on that point, though. It is a punish pick indeed. LDLC, they've played Vertigo 5 times in the last 3 months. And in those 5 games, they haven't even been able to get 10 rounds. So expecting this one to be a fairly quick cleanup from Crazy, if history has anything to say about it.
If LDLC certainly turn up and prove themselves unexpectedly, then it would be a shock. It would be a bit of an upset if we maybe get an LDLC victory here. So Crazy, while they start on that CT preferred end of things, might just have a chance to push forward and look towards a tied scoreline.
That is what they'll be looking for in this first map. And remember, if you submitted your answers to Esports Millions, you can keep track of the standings to esm.grid.gg, as well as the Esports Bible on Twitter. There are still 4 main gear PCs and $5,000 of Unicorn bets on the line. Pushing into the A set. A site even now are LDLC, who want to make their way in at the moment. Sensei trying to hold true and defend for the moment, but he'll just get headshot as these T's look for the way in.
Well, for Lambert and co, it should be at least an easy bomb hunt. CIS lineup now more or less playing retake, and they don't have a kit available, but they've certainly got smokes, flashes, and nades to at least set up some initial damage. Flash in body. He'll peek off of it, but won't get too much info going forward. And Crazy do certainly have time running out. Unless they get a kill or a pick within the first few stages, they might have a chance, but it's so awkward coming out body. At least trades out with Slugers, but looking good individually. Insane. Him and Afro hold off the push. And for LDLC, an unexpected opening in terms of winning pistol.
Well, body, the highest fragger from the first map, and Afro, the lowest fragger on LDLC, both doing the work in this opening round of Vertigo. Crossfire set up absolutely beautifully. The T's just shut down those heads in the close range of the Glocks. Win that opening pistol. That's going to be important for LDLC. They'll need every advantage they can get in this map.
Well, an advantage at least also in terms of mid control could be there if Demke was to push a little further forward. A couple of players going to be pushing towards him with the Deagle. It's good for damage, and in fact Crazy on this Eco Force, why they've done so well so far. The nade in fact eliminates Body, who is going to be one of these key players for LDLC to just work with. Galil, or 2 of them left between Haji and Afro, and they've got a bit more work to do for Talis.
2-on-3 situation. Galil's from LDLC still looking to salvage this round for themselves, but Toxic has found yet another Deagle shot. And that makes it so difficult for Afro. LDLC, they weren't expecting such a quick reply. Now they could be in trouble here. Afro pushing around, hoping that he's not going to get flanked. Bomb on his back. That's about the only thing that's gone his way here, as rifles are starting to be recovered by these CTs.
Yeah, and for me, the concern is that as soon as Afro peaks, it could potentially be an AK he loses. And an AK early on towards Crazy could be a bit of a concern for the offensive end of things. 1-on-1 Angels, though, and Afro certainly has a chance in this one. 12 seconds, and Molotov lands a smoke, and he just spots the player hiding, so Sergis is the first to drop. An aid also available. No kits for the retaking players either. And still with not the best sets of weapons, as AK more or less has a chance to win this out now.
It does indeed. Afro waiting for the players from Crazy to advance into him, and he finds both the heads. Excellently played, 1 versus 2. LDLC put themselves up onto 2 rounds as well. Crazy, that was their opportunity to come straight back into things, but it's narrowly recovered at the end there.
And thank God they did, because what an opening, at least in terms of a response. That could have been a real good force by coming off better. Sixer and Sogas, the 2 players to keep watch of. And Sogas for now, at least with 3 kills in the opening rounds. It is LDLC with what's going to be an awkward force by going forward. 2 AKs will be out, but a very early pause. And you can't help but feel Crazy really should have come off better from that scenario. Such a great effort. Afro and Body already got 9 kills within 2.
You're right, it does feel like a little bit of a misplay there, perhaps, from the Crazy side to not be able to convert that 1v3, but they can't dwell on it too much. They just have to save up in this one and look ahead to the full gun round that they'll be bringing forward in the next. There's no reason for them to feel like they're under too much pressure as of yet, but you never quite know when things are all going to go wrong. It's still required to stabilize this CT side, but in the eco they can't expect much.
I can maybe expect to take away 1 or 2 weapons, but it shouldn't be a case that LDLC really give away too much going forward. Lambert for now, along with Sixer. A little late play towards mid might be joined up with what is LDLC's push upstairs towards the B side. Or split is the outcome, or the option they want to go for. Body so silent and so careful, and just be aware Toxic on the site might be a deadly force if he comes off better first. It is Lambert though, he gets the initial one, and despite the spray, Toxic does at least get 1, but they have traded it.
Then teams found 1 in mid with the P250 as well, which is decent value, I suppose. But Sixer's here now with a Mac 10. He wants that bonus cash. He'll farm all 3 players up, build his bank to boot, and give round 3 all the way over to LDLC. Crazy looking for their full buy. And now we really get to see the true challenge for LDLC. They looked in trouble even against the force from Crazy. So with it coming down to a 1v2 at the end, how close can Crazy make it now that they have the rifles on the board?
LDLC also have an AWP to work with going into this upcoming round, so Sixer could make an impact, but Hadji, that isn't an ideal start as he just pushes down towards the lower end of the B stairs. Already below half HP, that isn't the start he wants, but they maybe get a kill towards the A site also. That could put a little less pressure on them, and that nade damage certainly was the start to maybe make an impact. Now no kills coming in, it's just damage traded out in the initial stages. Of the bomb for now, looking to head up towards B. With Body and Hadji for now looking to act as the entry players.
Second grenade goes towards the B stairs, and Hadji beats out and is punished. Body as well on the way in, removed by Toxic, who continues to find these French heads. 3 kills for him with the M4A4. LDLC left reeling. Sixer and Lambert trying to get anything done, but out mid alone, Lambert and his Galil are going to struggle to find any kills. Sixer now must retreat with his AWP and save it forward to the next round as Crazy looks strong in their opening buy.
Make it even better, they've kept all 5 of their players alive to now start to build up some early economy. Crazy players are looking to hunt, so no AWP retrieved or kept from the French camp. Crazy side now have Sensei with that weapon, and I just can't believe that Toxic wasn't given even a chance to get traded out. They just gave them all 3 of these kills for free. It felt too easy, and LDLC, they can't help but feel there should have been at least 1 trade in that.
Yeah, definitely. They should have gotten something back there, but they just weren't able to contest the gunfights. MQ now is going to be rushed by those deep-side pistols who push through the flames to get him a smoke on the defense, but he's already made his way out of there and dumped a hearty nade to boot. They still charge in and get one kill with the Tech 9s, however. Body wants to make it more with that AK instead. Now the bomb's dropped in a very awkward position. It might have even fallen off the map almost there. That could have been very ropey for LDLC. Thankfully, it isn't a late round problem.
Where did the bomb actually fall? Body had it. I don't know where it ended up.
No, just made the jump. I think it's just in front of Psycho there on the floor. Does make it across, thankfully, but that would have been a very awkward one if it hadn't.
I mean, what, they're up 50-odd floors. That's dropped. There's a lot more work for them to do. Obviously, for now, Sergis up close with the nade. Could be a starting point for damage, and that's a lovely double. Body, the second player, falling along with Lambert and Haji. Just can't do much against the AWP peak, and that's strong, that's great. But it's the only one kill that LDLC have actually got so far, and for Sixer, any more damage is a bonus, but not around that the French side were looking to really pick up. Not on that.
Psycho finds the kill and ties up the scoreline at 3-3 with 4 alive. Crazy now building themselves up that healthy economy of their own, as LDLC will be looking for the next full buy in this coming up round. Sergis does well to deny them there in the early instance. If Crazy can hold true against this LDLC buy, then we'll really start to see perhaps just why they picked this map of Vertigo.
We were saying also in the pre-game show, there shouldn't be really a chance that LDLC have a chance to maybe pick up anything on this map. They've done well to pick up 3, but pegged back to a tied scoreline certainly now gives the CIS squad at least momentum. And the sound cues were given up, but Sergis can't actually do any damage realistically. Afro now pushing and does fall on the second attempt. And if you're LDLC at this point, while a boost might be a nice option, they can't really get it. They just want some sort of the timing might be there if they spot out the other AWPer.
Sixer. How long can he bear to wait? That's the real question. Lambert on the lurk as well. Could deal with these pushing mid players, but he'll only find the one of them and keep the man advantage in this CT favor for the moment. Sixer, you can see he's desperate to find this kill on his AWPing counterpart. Sergis might even gift him the peak, but the flashes deny any kind of combat for the moment. Body going in aggressively instead, but the wall of smoke should give LDLC enough room to plant the bomb and force Crazy to come back for the retake.
I found it so weird how Sensei was even allowed to escape off of the triple boxes. For now, it's a retake territory for the CIS squad with an advantage, so they might as well at least give it a try on this gun round. But 2 AKs up close certainly could cause damage, and they need to trade out. That's too easy. Haji just gets 2 of them. A third could be there individually now left to find one more in an AWP, and Sensei, I don't think he can do a lot here. Repositions to go towards elevator. Peeking in from short, shouldn't allow him too much body. Trying to get some sound cues, and it's enough for the French side. Back on 4.
It's the only thing working for LDLC, but it's working out very well. This A-plant crossfire on this side of the map, allowing the individuals to go big with the kills. Haji with 3 headshots in that round, keeping up the effort of Body in the pistol. LDLC now up on 4, can keep the buy coming through, but Crazy Spank is such that they also have rifles and nades to boot. They need to reply back immediately if they want to recover their own economy in this situation. And Sensei's AWP actively looking for the first advantage once again, but it might be Sixer who gets it instead, as Crazy jump around into his crosshairs but force him away with utility.
It's far from original to really have 2 AWPs on the T side of things, but for now that's the option LDLC want, and the flash good enough to at least force Sensei into an awkward angle towards window over in middle. In fact, they've given up that mid side of the map, so LDLC could certainly pounce, and it is towards at least B, where they've got minimal control and minimal information. Burgers was up close, but now Crazy really has to play the safer angles. They can't contest too far. The opening kill still yet to be given away.
Body's the man who's looking for it. Up in the lead of things over towards the A-bomb site. LDLC this time want to wrap in with a mid-split. Lambert's AWP. One of two available for this LDLC T side. Six are pushing over towards the A site with just 20 seconds left. Eventually, LDLC are going to have to pull the trigger on and execute here. It is going to be the A-bomb site that they have to attack, but they have to do it soon. Has he found the opening kill? There's the second as well. That's the important one. That gives them room at least to plant. It should, as time ticks down. The bomb just making its way onto the site in time. Crazy in the 3-on-5 retake with Hadji on just 1 HP. Lambert going down. That could be an opening for Crazy, but if they can recover a weapon and retreat, they might want to do that also.
Well, LDLC at least finding a site which works for them on the attacking end. Actually, we'll have to be careful exiting also on the 1 HP he's got left. Crazy weren't too interested in going for a retake. They want to keep the 2 AWPs. They want to build up some money. And just ensure they've got a decent buyout to work with going into the future. Actually was hunting, but at least survives for now. LDLC a 2-round lead back on top. And it's weird to think Crazy on a map we expected a lot more from. Haven't even had the lead yet.
No, that is the very perplexing element to the opening stages of Vertigo. Perhaps Crazy will take the lead now that they have double AWPs on the board, because they lost this first map. There's no more safety net for them in the series. They're going to want to start strong. They are traditionally better on the T side, but still a good amount of CT rounds required at least to stop LDLC from running away with things momentum-wise. They target the B-bomb site this time, do the French for Toxic. He's been so good here. This time he can't be good enough. And leaves it on DemQ to reply, but his opening AWP shot misses, and bomb site given away. 5 Ts left alive. They might even want to go safe. Body is the only man who can put a stop to those plans, but Sensei's AWP finds him. 4 players left alive either side by the looks of things at the end of this round, as LDLC might want to still go hunting.
Well, it was Crazy CT side on Inferno, which didn't look adventurous or hopeful in any retakes or anything, and it's twice now where they just opt to make the safer call. LDLC, what a positive start they've had on Vertigo. Unexpected, given a lack of experience from this team on this map. As they push towards mid-connect, so there could have been an opening, but for now, nothing to be given up. And DemQ keeps one of the 2 AWPs for Crazy. And money, it should just about allow for a full purchase. Body, he's got a full set of weaponry available in this one also.
Crazy calling the timeout in this situation is the right call. Time to break up that LDLC momentum. 8 rounds on Vertigo. Currently LDLC's record for HLTV official matches. It looks like they're in position to beat that at the moment on their own T side. And with 5 rounds left to play, 6 even if you include this one about to occur, then they could comfortably clean up that record here in this first half. They just have to outmaneuver the full buys of Crazy for a little bit longer.
Crazy at this point. You need to find an opening kill. You've got to get something. Sensei at least delivers, and along with Sergius towards A ramp, they finally come off better for at least a couple of opening engagements. DemQ in mid might look to even extend this if Lambert is a little too overextensive. They will back away. But that's an ideal start, and off of that pause, it's certainly what the CIS squad want.
The nade from Lambert's even baited rather, Demq into getting aggressive. He won't overextend into spawn or anything ridiculous like that, but could have gone dire for the French player if he'd have stuck around for a couple of seconds longer. LDLC now want to try their efforts over on the B side of the map, where Toxic wasn't able to go quite huge enough on the defense in the last round. They want to pressure him again. He, with the smoke in hand, just has to stay alive long enough for his teammates to be able to rotate in. A kill would be great from him as he deploys the late round utility, all pressure on his shoulders.
Well, Toxic, well, really has to stop it now. It's the weakest position LDLC have been in for quite a while, but that opening is so useful, and Haji could even find the second. In fact, Demq on the orb strikes back first, and all of a sudden this retake can certainly come in, and that's over-aggressive. I get that you want the kill, but Sixer just falls to Lambert. Now has to find 3 more, and so many of them tagged up, which means this could so work out. Demq and Sergis, they both fall. Oh, that almost worked out. And Sensei and Crazy just about hold on to that. That got way too close.
Too close for comfort, but Crazy close it out on the B bomb site. Narrowly they do so. Look at this from Lambert. Finds the opening headshot, knows he has to push as well. And the low HP second player caught out on the way in. Sensei, thank the Lord he has an AWP in that situation. If it's an AK he swings out with, it could still all go wrong for the rifler. Weapons still brought forward from either side in this round. However, it's Crazy's bank that looks the weaker one should they lose still. LDLC denied an injection of pace in this round by early utility, perhaps as Haji and Sixer want to get kills through gaps in the smoke, but it's Afro who'll find Sergis in the early instance.
Cracking response, at least from LDLC, to open up this round, but this M4 doesn't get cleared. Afro, he might even fall if he's not careful. Demq up close, actually he's going to get flashed in, so a chance maybe Afro. You can't help but feel he's lucky to escape, as now this push towards me does come in body, not prepared for it. And all of a sudden, the AS squad have at least a better record.
Haji looking for Toxic. There is a supporting rifler deep in the site though, but he's found the opening 1v1 at the bare minimum. Psycho supported by an AWP, but whiffs his opening shots, and Sensei won't have much else to say about this unless he repositions. Demq rotating over from mid as well, but the bomb is once again going to go down in this B bomb site. You can see them deploying Molotovs just to ensure no Crazy counter aggression comes in. Double Nate can't find the planter, and Crazy's AWP has to go big. Sensei finds the first shot. There's still 2 AKs that they have to root out of the bomb site. Pushing in, time ticking down, and that's the important kill onto Afro. Lambert again. He nearly clutched the last occasion. Up against an AWP and an M4 again. He's found the opening short. Sensei, the only man who can deny it. Once again, it's his AWP that has to do the work for Crazy, and it lands the shot at the edge of time. He'll find the defuse as well. Crazy on 5. Back-to-back narrow successes for the side.
LDLC again, they had an advantage really to hold on to the site, but it doesn't go their way. They fall short yet again, and it is that AWP against Sensei, who we said was going to be so impactful for this Crazy lineup. Now turning up with the scoped weapon. LDLC, they had a minor advantage, at least in the player numbers at the start. But now though, they drop down all 2 AKs. Crazy, certainly a good chance to now tie up the score if they maybe get an opening kill.
It's 2 clutches, or 2 retake situations even lost back-to-back on the B-bomb site by LDLC. The first, a 4-3 in favor of Crazy, but that second one definitely should have gone their way. They just can't follow through in the late instance. They want to attack this part of the map yet again, but Toxic still can't find any kills. Psycho only getting 1 as well. It's going to be on the retaking Crazy players, as it always is. Demq aggressive early, finally punished by body. And this might be LDLC's 7th at long last.
Crazy aren't going to even try and contest for it. And to me, it just kind of felt like even if Crazy went towards us, they'd still have to maybe get some quick kills to give themselves a chance. And LDLC, sorry, when they have been in even man advantage scenarios. It's not always gone their way. Crazy have always had players popping up with 2 or more kills per round. And that's been one of their influential factors, you could say. Balls to Lambert. Just an AWP left. And an AWP being hunted. Goes down, but prepared for Afro. So there is that AWP save. There is the advantage for LDLC. Back on top once again. Crazy. This is their map pick, by the way. And for maybe unexpectedly, the first time this game, it's now the French side who have a little pause.
LDLC with the opportunity for the round advantage now at the end of the half. Crazy's money just so low that they invest to completely empty the bank. They're going to be on a double eco anyway. After their 2 round wins followed by a loss, it decimates their loss bonus. And this is the opportunity, realistically speaking, for LDLC to close out the half in style. If they can beat this force buy, there's a 9-6 on the cards guaranteed, maybe even a 10-5 if they're cheeky about things. They just have to overcome the Deagles and SMG of them Q in this round.
You look back to one of the early rounds in this match where Crazy were on pistols, they were on a weaker buyout, and it came down to a 1-on-1 which LDLC did edge out. So this pistol buy could certainly become deadly. Now DemQ on top of ladder room. We'll just hold the angle while his teammate Sensei who falls first. They've gone for the aggression. They've got the smoke in the way. Lambert could so easily get 1 or 2 kills there.
Good, but he could quite easily get killed himself. The range of the AK from Haji might recover at the bare minimum, thankfully. He does just that. That could have been a weapon recovered. The flank from Crazy, who knows what kind of damage they'd be able to get done in that position. Instead, all Toxic can do is charge into the A site with his P250 and have his head ripped off. Round advantage guaranteed from LDLC. This should be a full eco from Crazy. This could be the 9-6 scoreline, all but confirmed, with 10-5 potential from LDLC well on the way.
Oh, this is becoming awkward for Crazy on a CT side where they've not looked too strong. Said they weren't strong. CT on Inferno. Again, a similar scenario is coming up here. Albeit a couple of amazing clutches coming out. And with this aggression now, the nade doesn't do too much. MQ to Haji, but there's now a swift clean-up between him and Lambert. 1 kill converted, and AK looks to be saved. That would be good enough, but you said 9-5 is at least there.
Such an unexpected half. This is already, I believe, LDLC's record number of rounds on Vertigo in the last 3 months. It is. So far, their best scoreline, 16-8 loss against Navi Jr. That was the most they'd been able to put on the board. Now they have 9 guaranteed. And looking like a great possibility as Toxic falls with the AK. He'll not be allowed to save that one. Perhaps the dangerous factor for LDLC is that they're traditionally less successful on their CT side than their T side. But at a 10-5 scoreline up, all you have to do realistically is convert the second pistol and you're in a great spot to win the game. So they can close out this gun round. It's all looking great for LDLC.
Crazy need to find an opening kill. They've got to get some minor advantages. It's going to be a fast change of pace, and in fact they have to give up the close ramp angle. Maybe this player hiding in Surgers can step up, and while Afro hasn't actually traded him out yet, it's still Body falling first and still Crazy getting an initial kill. Lambert might look late a little bit towards middle, but Afro's still up close. Needs to so be careful. I'd be so scared really peeking into this. It is a silence then for on top of the Molotov. Might force him out.
Molotov and flash combination. Zergis turns the right way though and finds the kill. Afro struggling with his movement. He's going to leave his teammates now to do the work. Sixer can't even convert the kill over on the A bomb site. 2 players actively defending B. It's so spread out for LDLC that with a minute left on the clock, it doesn't look like an execute's going to be able to come through any time soon. the bomb does eventually go towards A ramp, and Lambert makes his way to join them. LDLC found success on this side of the map early on with that classic wall of smokes, but with just one smoke grenade at the death of this round, they might not be able to get into their ideal defensive position.
A lot more pressure as well. 30 seconds with only flashes left. They've got an AWP, that might be an advantage, but for now, Sensei yet to pull the trigger. Could so draw so much blood if they get the summon. And the Molotov, well, it's not going to be enough to force a bomb away. Lambert does take damage after, and it's so hopeful in terms of a spray. So finally, they get the advantage, at least in terms of the retake numbers. Lambert still wants to be given something else, but this is an angle LDOC has been in before and certainly won, but they don't find the kill this time. At least Lambert falls first. Sixer has to find 4 more. This would be an ace if he can get it, and unless Crazy stick the bomb now, it's awkward, and this player shouldn't be allowed too much more.
It's going to be a 10-second defuse, but Sixer can even make his way around the corner in time. The bullets ensure that he cannot. 9-6 then the scoreline at the end of this first half for LDLC. It was certainly not expected to be this great from them on the T side of Vertigo. As we switch over to the CT side, Crazy in trouble of being knocked out of this series on their own map pick. They'll be looking for this pistol round for the immediate recovery. And before we do get underway with it, let's take a moment to talk about Unicorn, everyone. They have the most CSGO betting options in the world. Join Unicorn today, and you could get €80 of bets from a €20 deposit. Bet on yourself in CSGO pubs, bet on pro teams, bet on fresh esports matches, and when events are offline. Unicorn won Bookmaker of the Year in 2019. Find out why today with your first 300% deposit using code RELOG, R-E-L-O-G. That's RELOG, R-E-L-O-G. LDLC. Only 2 players with body armor in this pistol round. Incredibly weak to the Glocks. They want the utility to do the heavy lifting for them in this pistol round. Sixer has to back out of his aggressive angle because Crazy, they've done the same thing. They've got 3 sets of grenades themselves.
Just to point out also, statistically, Crazy win 87% of their pistol rounds, so they should have an advantage historically, but it's another LC side who did win pistol when they were on the T side. For now, damage is there, but for Sixer, it's not enough to deny maybe this bomb plant. Smoke towards the back of the site, and Molotov also training on triple boxes. Lambert's just standing there, and he had to make a move shortly. Psycho also aware of what's going on, and the Sturger's also striking up. Finally, there is a response and some life. Crazy, I think might have just converted pistol.
Toxic with those final 2 headshots, and Psycho with the info on the last player means that Haji will not be able to get it done in the second pistol. Crazy do pick it up on the T side, and that's the important thing for recovering this map now. If they do manage to come back all the way, we have Train waiting in the wings as a decider should we have to get there. But LDLC, they want to go for the force in this round. Crazy nearly won their force in the second, but just about weren't able to convert, so we'll have to see whether the French have any more luck.
Oh, no opening, at least for Sixer over towards the A site. He went for a little peek. MQ for now just holds in middle in case there is maybe a little bit of CT aggression over in that. They're not too hungry to really rush into things. Sixer might have had a chance. It's his teammate Body who in fact takes that initial damage. Toxic hasn't found a lot for now. DemQ might get a second if Lambert is overextensive. But for now, Crazy have an advantage. The A site again looking to be their likely option. And again, it's a tagged Body, one of the influential players for this LDFC squad. Maybe left to make a play.
He'll be trying to have impact on this A-bomb site, but Sergis will deny him any. Lambert finds damage with his Deagle, but the rest of his team are just being cleaned up at the moment. Sixer's scout has to back out of there. Haji's Deagle won't even consider coming over to the A-bomb site to try and look for kills. Crazy with 8 on the board, closing 9 down rather quickly as well as they dismantle that LDLC force. It'll be an eco from the French in the next one regardless, and it should be a tied scoreline at 9-9 from Crazy.
Maybe a scout death towards Sixer. Actually finds the resulting bullet, and that Deagle allowed to do literally nothing against the SMG on top. Like you said, 9-9 should be the ideal outcome of this one. LDLC for now, their money isn't available. The French side will be forced to an equalising affair. Crazy pushing forward, still have SMGs in that little buyout. And it is the positive start really that they needed, and they at least have got it for now, but they've got to now build off this, Vitalis.
They do indeed. Sergiz should be able to get all the cash he wants with this MAC-10, but the 4 pistols will take advantage of him instead, and Sensei knows getting that AWP out of there in time is very important. Demq turns around onto Sixer, and Sensei again now under pressure. Needs to find the remaining USPs. He makes a bit of a mess of it, and Lambert finds Demq elsewhere, but bomb now down. Lambert just looking for that bonus damage. If you can upgrade the MAC-10 onto an AK, that's beautiful, but not expecting anything else from him in the round.
You said it right. It will be a 9-9 scoreline. A bit more work now has to be done for LDLC now on the defense, who haven't really looked too inspiring. The money hasn't been there. I thought Psycho was going to regress towards T-Spawn to give Lambert maybe something with this MAC-10, but Crazy respond well. They have the ideal start to the second half. They can now build off of this.
That's what they'll be looking to do. LDLC, realistically, now have lost all that momentum they had going for them in that first half. And if they want an opportunity to reclaim it, they need to do work with the guns in round 19. Sixers AWP back in hand. With M4 supporting elsewhere, it's the perfect buy that you could ask for from LDLC, bar maybe an extra AWP. But that's a perfect start from Sensei. He destroys body, trying to go aggressive on the A ramp. Sixers up. There's not really enough of a gap over the top of the smoke for it to be able to find anything. And Crazy just secure that early advantage.
It's at least an early one. But realistically, they've got to hope to maybe get a second kills and maybe safely unlock one of these sites. Sixer, he will have a little gentle peak, but find little for his efforts. So AS squad now look late towards middle, where 3 players might now look to push in and look to set up a baby split. So Lambert actually backs off a window at completely the wrong time. Sixer, he can at least really push with this, but if he falls like that, then issues are now going to start to run for the French squad. Lambert has to do so much more. Hadji can only get one with his efforts, so an easy bomb launch should be there. Afro behind unexpectedly and does beat Toxic. This retake on 5 HP, such a slim ask, but one which isn't impossible.
I would argue it is impossible. Such low health. Opponent still with a Molotov to hand. He doesn't look like he wants to push any further forward. Instead, picking up the AK and backing away from the attempt. It's Crazy who find double digits in the lead instead of LDLC, who had the opportunity to do it in that first half. Now, it is the Ukrainians who start to come into form on their own map pick, and perhaps now we are starting to see why LDLC really haven't had the best record on this map. So far yet to win a CT round. How long will it be until they do so? We all know it was a long while before Crazy won a CT round on Inferno.
That's the concerning thing for those boys now. They had a better T side of things. LDLC, this was around the point on Inferno where they did start to wake up and start to get some more work back in their favour. Don't expect an LDLC win here, but Afro being impactful and does just about come off back, and that should be a trader. Psycho awkward, but still deadly.
The AK's been recovered by LDLC. That's the important factor, though. They can keep it alive, and Sergey, as you can tell, knows Sixers waiting in the wings with that deep. Sensei's Orb isn't quick enough to find him, but at least they don't lose any players to it just yet. They angle over towards this A-bomb site. There is a flank on the way from LDLC, but it's going to be a long time till it's in any position to deal damage. So Sixer realistically in this A site has got a lot of work to do. With the wall of smokes down, the AK looking to arrive to support eventually as well. The Sixer found early means Haji just has to wait for his teammates. Body spotted now on the flag, but Lambert's got an AK. Sensei didn't expect that one. He's the only player left for LDLC at this point, however. And in the 1 versus 3 situation, they start to hunt him down. He's done decent damage for sure. He's found a second kill at this point and made himself a dangerous prospect in the round. But Sensei's Orb is really what wants to deny everything on the close angle. You can tell Lambert wants to go for this one. He wants to push in, but with time ticking away to the extent it is, he has to go now. He has to make it work. Taps the bomb, baits the Orb out, but can't land the pistol headshot. Crazy get 11.
Certainly ideal economic damage coming out for that LDLC side. They will fully commit out, but that got deadly, and I was really thinking, if you go for this, you've got to win that. You might as well have just saved the AK. On his side, though, they have a full set of weapons and utility. Sensei and Six of the two guys continuing to walk for their respective squads. Early flash in. A awkward one, but up close. It's an awkward encounter which Haji and Six both lose out on so quickly. A 2-man advantage so quickly. Crazy. Look towards 12. Unless LDLC fight back now, I think they call this one off and just go for an early save.
Straight away on the A-bomb site as Crazy secure B. Sergis is actually just lurking over towards this A ramp. He's not able to find any kills, but his team might still want to hunt these rifles down because they know 3 left alive can prompt a force buy up into the next, which might not be something they're too keen on facing up against. Crazy guaranteed 12 on the board now, hunting for 13 in the next. A much easier affair with every one of the saving CTs that they can remove. Throw on top of the box though, denying MQ's efforts, so it should be 6 alive at the end of the round in total. LDLC still struggling on their CT side. You have the 1 round, oh no round still, sorry, on the board for them at all in this CT half. It's still going wrong for them.
Yeah, the only round they got in the first half was pistol, where they got the defuse. Ever since then, it's all gone downhill. Utility, not going to be ideal. At least, not on Afro. 3-round lead. Crazy have done so well to really respond and now give themselves the advantage to maybe look and take us towards train, which would be our deciding map. Sixer early on does win the encounter. Finally, the French squad have an advantage, but realistically, they have to extend it. Soga, speaking like that, just gives them the trade, and Lambert, he'll just have the info that for now no player is realistically looking to push out.
He has to hope that Crazy get overconfident. Dropping the smoke there would have given his position away, and then Sergis' spray would have just taken him to an early grave. LDLC, they lose control of the map realistically with this loss. They lose control of their economy. Crazy get 13, they'd be looking at 14 in the next. So much hangs in the balance here. Just hold true on the defense. Haji over on B. Here's the sound cues of these advancing players. Just holds behind the pillar, waiting ever so patiently for Crazy to explode out.
Haji, oh, isn't quite going to fall yet. The fact that there's an AWP also here prepared to hold on to the site certainly means that Crazy, they have so much more work to do. And that's perfect by Circuit to eliminate both of them. Toxic looked to the last player, but Psycho gets the damaging bullets. What a response by Crazy to hold on to the site. LDLC, you thought they had a chance, but they get wiped out again and are going to be down now by a 4-round deficit. There's nothing you can do, at least if you're Lambert. Maybe 1 or 2 kills on the exit. Crazy hunting. And it feels as though at this point, Train Portalis might be where we end up at.
It's certainly looking likely. LDLC's CT side, just a nightmare in actuation. They have an average win rate of just 20% of CT rounds there. Lambert even going down at the end in the nightmare loss. LDLC might be able to scrape a bite together here, but that was the beautiful spray down from Sergis, just putting those B site defenders away back in the cupboard in that round. It looks like LDLC have at least the partial investment in mind. Crazy against the Pistols with a good chance for 14 here.
MQ for now. Stands on top of the railings, watching from spawn for a potential push. And he does win the initial encounter, so body is gone. On a pistol round for the French squad. LDLC realistically just looking to maybe get a couple of kills to force some weapons away from their opponents. Michael for now will just back off. They're not in a rush to do anything. But a lot of presence, especially under towards A, does mean that that's the likely site where the CIS squad end up at. In fact, Afro and Six are both falling away to means there's no one on A. Are they gambling towards B?
Looks like the late round call. They want to stack up surrounding the reclaimed rifle in the hands of Hadji. Regrettably, for French CS fans in the chat, it is not the right call whatsoever. They start the quick rotations, and actually Crazy haven't made their way all the way into the bomb site yet. LDLC can still be in decent enough positions to try and deny these Ukrainians an entrance to the site at the very least. They'll deploy their utility, but if opening headshots go the way of LDLC, this can start looking like a dangerous defense at the moment. The bomb making its way around the site. Sensei finding Afro first, but it's the Deagle of Sixer that swings around the corner. It's the rifle of Hadji to extend the effort. Sensei finds the kill with the AWP in the end, leaving Lambert isolated and alone. Did they just spot him through the smoke? No is the answer. He gets Sensei Dem on just 15 HP. The Pistols to have to work this fight. Dem pushing, getting aggressive, but the time for LDLC keeps them alive. Lambert gets 10 with the final kill as well. Somehow they cling on to that one.
It's that opening headshot surely which cements it. The fact that Lambert just hides, he is so smart in that play. That is a 200 IQ play, and that is the reason why LDLC can come off better. The time was ticking, that was the issue. An unexpected eco win means for LDLC a good strong buy, which includes an AWP and a full set of M4s and utility. And they get no opening towards A. They always struggle in that respect. Psycho for now might join up with DemQ to maybe get an initial start in middle. The side of a map where the French squad haven't put too much momentum or effort in, and for now Sergis, I think, to spot out the AWP. Oh.
The A ramp traditionally an area of difficulty for LDLC, but in this round they seem awoken. Aggression now towards mid has earned them the 4-on-2 early advantage, and considering they looked completely lost on this CT side, the victory in the last round may just have woken them up a little bit. Toxic and Sensei, the only players left for Crazy to try and work with round 24. They want to do it in the B bomb site, but Hadji just spots that Toxic. I think he'll still be removed from the round, and Body just needs one on the way in. Flashed off, he'll find it, and Sensei's up now has a real task on B.
Well, I don't want to say it's impossible, but this is a tough ask to, again, really pull off. 35 seconds and just hunting maybe for a player to peek from behind him. He's not going to get anything. LDLC, they've somewhat given up the A site. Afro has at least returned to it, so if there was a very late play for Sensei, the A site might have been his option. But he knows that there's no overtime to work with. He knows that this might be too much to ask for. LDLC 2 in a row. Now just peg back the advantage. 22 rounds. Crazy, all of a sudden don't look good. And then money, it's mixed, but they could still probably force us out.
Yeah, they have the reserves to drop over onto the players who can't afford, and they will force buy this round. It's the perfect time for that tactical timeout as well. You have to break LDLC's momentum here. You allow them to come back into the game, and they could eliminate you from the series if you're not careful. Remember, LDLC coming into this one with Inferno in their back pocket. They had seemingly no chance at the start of this map. When you look at the evidence, when you look at their record here, they shouldn't be getting away with this. But Hadji and Lambert coming through with some absolutely huge performances helped them close the gap. 13-11 with this gun round. They break Crazy's economy and have the opportunity to tie up the scoreline. Can this be LDLC's first Vertigo win in over 3 months?
That's the insane statistic, right? You think that LDLC haven't had too many options to play this map of late. All of a sudden, they're keeping this close against a squad who've played this map quite a lot recently. So much damage already to Psycho up close. Do you not spot that? Oh, Lambert's so good. He at least saves his teammate. He gets a second on Psycho also. Nothing found or given away up towards A. Yeah, but it's towards mid, but danger could have been Demq falling to Sixer. Means for the French side, they now have a much stronger advantage against this crazy lineup.
So chaotic towards the A ramp, but somehow LDLC have the advantage with the trades. Toxic, did he just show his rear end? I think he may have, and now he struggles to even convert onto Hadji. It's the clean round for LDLC. They don't lose any players. They choose not to utilize the double AWPs in that one, interestingly enough, but the real talking point at the end of this round is that LDLC have the chance to tie it up at 13-13 unless these crazy pistols can have some insanity in this bomb site.
It's not a heavy buy by any means. It's not a perfect set of weapons which crazy have, but this is actually an LDLC pause. They want to just take a moment just to make sure they can perfect maybe the next few rounds, or at least this one coming up. While this won't break Crazy's economy necessarily, or LDLC's economy on a win, it's certainly a good time to just keep the focus and momentum there. LDLC now look towards 4 in a row. Would max out Crazy's loss bonus. If the CIS squad get a bump on here, Patalis, then that might be good enough.
It'll be good enough for their cash, but perhaps not for their mindsets, as LDLC really expecting 13 rounds. Perhaps a swing moment in the game. The first Eagle found, and Hadji drops down looking for more. Sensei gets that sound cue, so backs off to a more passive angle. The rest of his team are pushing over at mid, where Lambert is defending his M4, so it's vital he secures at least 1 kill. If he gets overwhelmed, then Body within the B bomb site is in danger himself. Deploys the counter flash, but smoked away from the angle. Can't actually have eyes on the window. Body has to turn around for it, and Serges gets that kill. Thankfully, eventually Lambert gets 1. Hadji in kind, but it's a 2-on-3 now. It's much closer than it should be from the Crazy perspective. Hadji just recovering there, leaving Demq alone with the pistol.
And while it felt like there was an issue lost when Body fell, the issue was the bomb was already dropped in LDLC territory. The kill by Hadji essentially dropped the bomb and gave LDLC a much stronger advantage. And they do close it out, and they do now tie up this scoreline. Crazy with the max loss bonus can fully afford AKs, AWPs, and the utility. And this next one's got to be huge. It's got to be a crazy win if they want to stay in this series. LDLC all of a sudden turning up on Vertigo. They're doing so well against this lineup. Fixer for now. Just plays anti-flash. For now, no aggression from either side, in fact, towards aim.
The comeback came from nowhere. An eco round victory, a pistol clutch from Lambert. And now the French have the chance to put this series to bed 2-0. They win this, they decimate Crazy's economy. The game in the balance here. CT's with just about 1 buy left in the bank if they lose the round. So tense here towards mid. DemQ and Psycho, they want to push through. Have they expected Lambert's change of angle though? The Molotov suggests they have. And it's so long before anybody peeks. Afro's the first man to do it. He tags Toxic but can't get the kill. And this could be the dream one for Crazy. They have mid control as well, looking to make their way in towards the bomb site. Lambert can't do anything against MQ, who has actuated that flank. Haji now down as well. Crazy with the opportunity to put it on 14. Sensei denies Sixer. Body knows he has to leave now. No point in sticking around for him. And the buy, it can still come through from the CT side. That's the important thing. They can still get the guns out in the next round. It's not over yet, but Crazy, that's an important first step. They take one more. They'll be on map point, and then they'll have broken the French economy. For now, however, just the 1 round advantage for the Ukrainian side.
That is the advantage for LDLC. They've not lost the economy. They can still buy out into this upcoming round. And for Crazy, it now has to be another win, but it came off the back of 4 losses in a row. The perfect time to respond. It's a great time maybe for LDLC to get out a double AWP setup. Sixer and Lambert will utilize those. It's a still heavy AK and AWP presence for the CIS squad going forward. And Q plays safe. Crazy don't look to overextend, and that's what they want LDLC to do. They want a mistake from the French side. Body up close might be a concern. Toxic for now isn't going to get anything, and that nade is certainly an ideal start.
Lambert spotted out, but it's Body who gets the first kill onto Toxic instead. You can tell they're waiting for this mid-aggression. Eventually Lambert has to fall away, but with the secondary AWP, they might not be anticipating it. He dunks a lovely nade onto DemQ as well, bringing him below, or just over 50 HP. LDLC with aggressive positions on every angle. It's so risky from them to do this, but they've called the strat anyway. It could all fall apart on this A ramp if Sixer and Afro don't get the kills.
Afro might have just spotted something. I don't know if he's had the best option to really do anything. He's lost the back away. The M4. Oh, that's a strong pick, and that's so vital to maybe keeping LDLC in this round coming up now. A 2-man advantage. Crazy can't even respond, and they need to. They've got to clear sandbags. The Molotov isn't there, but a peek might be enough, and Sixer not prepared. Means for now that weapon gets lost. 30 seconds still. Crazy. They surely commit now towards aim.
Sixer's too wide around the angle, but Sensei could get punished here. He does. Body sprays through the smoke and finds the opposing AWPer. Brilliant pre-fire from him. Secure another kill in his favor. Psycho goes down now towards the ramp. DemQ left alone. Body cleans it up, and LDLC tie it all up again. 14-14. Crazy's economy damaged, but not destroyed. They can get a buy together, and Vertigo is certainly going the distance.
It is Crazy's pause now going forward as they work out whether they can all get on AK's. Toxic might be dropping down to just a worse off weapon. I want to say he's got the AWP going forward. But LDLC won't be up. I don't think they've got an AWP on the T side. In fact, they all have AKs. It's certainly a massive time for LDLC to spike up with a round win, because if Crazy won that, not only would Crazy be on map point, but they'd also have reset the economy. So that was vital in so many ways for French victory. Actually, 24 kills, certainly playing his part for the French squad going forward. And this next one, if Crazy lose, could see their economy. No. No.
They gamble for it at the start and they punish it. LDLC tags Psycho mid-air, cause him to drop off the map, and they find them as well. Toxic on just 3 HP to boot. Sensei doesn't have a rifle in his hand. He could get removed, Toxic, by this HE. It just comes through a second too late. Crazy, that's not how you want to start this round.
Isn't ideal by any means. Afro just has to avoid overextending, and maybe it's a 15th French round. The bomb's still heading what looks to be towards Beam. Pete Westerger as well. Might get the information so the Molotov just gets sent in the other direction. Burning in it is Sixer, in fact. Let's play solo. It's just a bait, a fake. LDOC aren't really looking much towards it. In fact, the bomb might still head towards A, you know.
They're certainly thinking about it. Crazy. They're under so much pressure to make a tactical call here. They're going to deploy more utility onto B, but it doesn't look like they want to commit the bomb there. With 30 seconds left on the clock, Crazy could also just fight to save these two AKs. Instead, Sergis creeps out of that A site, but can't find Lambert. Sensei now on the A ramp with just 20 seconds left. They have pulled off the fake. They will be able to get the plant on B at the very minimum. Oh no, the bomb in the hands of Toxic, now put down by Sixer. He spots it out and holds true. 15 on the board for LDLC.
Wow, do Crazy have to go to overtime to even commit to it? I don't know what happened. Did he just hit the...
He got shot in midair. Oh. They shot him as he was going for it. They stopped him with the bullets. It's just all over.
There's your one injury. It suffered 1 injuries. Perfect English. Crazy. They've got to fight for overtime now if they want to stay in this. LDLC all of a sudden might close out the series a lot quicker than what a lot of people would have imagined, and that is the concerning point. In terms of AKs, only 1 available, 2 pistols, 2 Gillows also. Maybe a fast play could certainly push and force LDLC out of a sight, but the attack has to be perfect.
LDLC, they can finally break the curse of Vertigo. They have the opportunity now to put an end to their lost streak and make a statement in 9-5 with an early 2-0 win against Crazy. Lambert, the first man on point to defend. He'll take damage and put a nade out instead, which does way more than he takes. Excellent start, but still no kills yet found. Toxic on the other side of the smoke gets the timing on Afro, and the rest of his team now must advance in towards this A bomb site. LDLC with 4 alive on the defense. Lambert looking up for Toxic, but can't spot him in the corner just yet. Still can't get the timing on the angles as Toxic switches sides. Eventually he's found. MQ will get 1 in reply, and it's a 3-on-3 situation with Tease actively defending this A bomb site. 2 Tech 9s and a Galil, the only firepower to keep Crazy in the map. The AK's ringing out, but Demq's rifle's done the work. Found another kill as the flashes are set up. Body looking for the way in on the corner. He wants the retake. That's the first kill. That's the second kill. The 1-on-1 with Sergei's Body on 11 HP now. The opportunity to close out the map in regulation time. He gets on the bomb, but Sergei's with the Tech 9 secures overtime for Crazy.
Crazy might not be too done yet. That got so close to call, and you can't help but feel LDLC were way too slow in that retake towards the site. They didn't get much. Body did so well to really fight back for it, but it just wasn't to be for the French squad. And now we look towards potentially at least another 5-6 rounds overtime. The first to 19. At least in terms of the economy now, that's not a factor. This is where all the angels and all the executes have to be just perfect.
First to 19, have you said LDLC squandered the opportunity in the A bomb site. And now they have to hope that their spirits aren't too broken by it. Remember, they look stronger on the T side. They should have momentum on their CT side. The grenade's doing early damage once again. This is much more significant when you're up against the full rifles rather than the pistols. But either way, you still have to convert it into the kills. That's what LDLC struggled with in the last, and that's why we're in overtime.
Good made to start things off, but Afro wants the time, and in fact that all peaking more or less saves Afro from dying, so Sixer does a positive start. Body's aggression also ensures Toxic can't do too much. The bomb still in the A control, but they're running out of time to get kills, and for LDLC a positive start without any response.
Two-man advantage as Afro could find another kill here playing around the smoke. It's dissipated. Sensei in the corner. Glass is exposed. Afro in the front. Finds Psycho as well. Demq in the 1v5 now. This first round of overtime definitely going LDLC's way. Just a miracle that they even made it here, to be honest.
Well, the first isn't going to go Crazy's way. LDLC are going to be finding that early opening. For me, LDLC it got awkward on the CT side. They might want to look to really pick up some rounds so quickly, and this individually was so good. Afro, when he's been on side, he has been making those impactful plays. He has been that standout man towards the A side. And all and AKs are still out. Crazy. They're gonna really find her first, and a different smoke set up this time. Afro again might be the man asked to step up.
Realistically speaking, it's safe to say that Crazy are looking for at least the next 2 T rounds in overtime. Their CT side looking much weaker than this T side of things in regulation. So realistically, if they want the chance at victory, they're going to need to win on their stronger side. Utility slowing them for the moment, but B looking like the eventual target. Playing it slower, Crazy. They know the stakes are high. It couldn't be any more dangerous for them as they face elimination with this overtime loss. Lambert up on the box, drops down, but gives the sound away. Dem, he'll win the opening engagement now, and the reply has to come from LDLC, who, defending the A bomb site, have left Afro lurking behind the scaffolding. It's all going to be on timing again. If nobody keeps him here, it can be beautiful. He's found Toxic at least. We'll back off a minor amount. Sensei finds him in kind, however, and it's 3 players left from LDLC to retake the A side.
There's finally an advantage, at least to the Ukrainian lineup. Some damage towards Sergez isn't going to give him too much of a concern. Looks above from the heaven side to maybe get something gifted towards him. So there's a Molotov, at least deep towards a ramp. Nothing coming out. Crazy having to play this so safe, but the kills just, if anything, a trade. The lineup might be there. Sergez just cancelled out by Sixer. The AWP has to get 2 more. No kits. And a Crazy win. Demq does line up, and Afro had the opportunity. He just could only find one, and that might be part of the reason why LDLC don't come off winners there.
That A site, if your opponents have utility to get in, lock off that wall of smokes and set up the crossfire, it can be really dangerous for CTs. You've got limited options to deal with it realistically. You either need lightning fast rotations, a dedicated lurk player, or the opportunity and enough time to wait for your opposing smokes to dissipate, deploy your own counter utility, and attempt a more traditional retake that way. Either way, LDLC had none of those things on their side in the last round, so they look to use double AWPs to increase their chances of victory in this one. Lambert again on the secondary AWP in mid. He's going to be pressured by multiple Crazy players yet again. Has to get the kill here, has to back off at least without losing that weapon. LDLC know just how important it is.
Molotov wasn't perfect either, but Lambert at least isn't going to be threatened at the moment, so has a bit of support. Body Just keeps watching things also in mid as Psycho backs out and Crazy now set up for what's going to be at least this play over towards A. At least that's the one they want to go for. Demku in mid gets an opening. Look at Afro, this time a bit more deep. This could be good for damage. One kill becomes two. A third would be so impactful. Toxic, one-on-one Angels, but not quite an ace. Sensei will take out him with a Tech 9.
Oh, that is a beautiful recovery from Afro. Sensei on 12. Dem now destroyed. What can Sensei do on just 12 HP? He's going to stomp his way into the B-bomb site, give the info away, but find the opening kill. Now just don't peek the sniper rifle. That's all you have to do if you want to win the round, LDLC. Let him plant the bomb and peek him at the same time. That's the objective. Molotov well placed, could even end this round here and now. Instead, Sensei boosted up on the box, still allowed to live, looks for the flick. What on earth is that? On 1 HP, he's still alive, makes his way back down towards the B stairs now. And Lambert aggressively going hunting on the higher ground, stomping around, giving away those sound cues, backs off, and Sensei hears it, has time on his side. 2 seconds, but wins the clutch. LDLC, what a mess they make of that.
What a play also by Sensei to clutch out a 3-on-1, 4 kills in the end go his way, and that shouldn't be a round that they give up, considering Afro did so well individually here to hold off 3 of them at least. It could have so been 4 if Sensei actually fell there, but 12 HP. He went into that clutch with so much more work to do. They peeked him one by one. They made it look easy, or at least he did.
So lucky to live on 1 HP. He got tagged down from 7 to just 1. That's so sad that it's the pistol of Sixer that tags him instead. Now, LDLC on the T side of things with Crazy in the round lead once again. 2 needed for them on their CT side to put a stop to everything, but it wasn't the strongest in that first half.
Oh, Sergus, if he falls here, Afro, that could so be him finding an opening. And how ironic is it to see Afro, even on the offense, play this side of the map over towards A. The flash in is his death. Sergus picks off that one. An all boost up is very useful. It means the double peak especially could come in over towards the side, but on the M4 peaks it allows Haji his early death, and Body not even able really to trade out.
Gets repeaked and still can't convert that into a kill either. So little damage taken so far from these Crazy players. Just 3 Ts left to try and get something done here over on the B bomb site. Toxic should not move from his pillar position if he values his life whatsoever. Sixers AWP waiting in the wings to shoot him when he peaks, but he does it at the perfect time. Removes the AWP and drops that T-bomb. LDLC, they look all but out of this round. Crazy pick up the first CT and look to end the map 19-16 here.
Well, Demku somebody, Lambert left. This side might have to look towards the second overtime if they want to win, and it was around this sort of time and this sort of pressure where LDLC started to wake up and come back into things. It feels like it might be a bit too late. They've got to get the next 2 to take us to overtime number 2. And for Crazy, comes with their CT buyout. It's still full. It's still standard. Or 2 AKs and 2 M4s on that CT end of things. Oh, an early nade could be good for damage. It's a nice idea also from Sensei to go and close. The flash is good, and in fact the AWP drops, meaning the French side now get a very quick advantage, but so quickly brought back the other way.
Sergis as well punishes Afro, just walks through a smoke, expecting the alleyway to be given to him for free. Sixer and Body now left to deny. It's Body alone who finds a headshot, but Crazy, they finally do the work here on Vertigo. LDLC can't break the streak. And at 19-16, the Ukrainians managed to win it out. Map 3 is going to be trained, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll bring that to you right after this commercial break.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. System online.
everyone, and welcome back to 9 to 5. It's the third and final map between LDLC and Crazy here in the opening Swiss round best of threes. My name is Protalis, and joining me again is Louis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm looking forward realistically to what's going to be quite a big matchup. And for LDLC, they're going to be so disappointed that Vertigo didn't end in their favour. They were 15-14 up, and overtime for them wasn't the outcome and wasn't the cure on a map which wasn't looking too good for them. Worth mentioning, Body and Sensei have been so impactful in this game so far. The two players stand out to look for. I think their performances might continue here in our deciding map.
They'll certainly need to go large for their respective sides, as it's all on the line now here in map 3. There are no more opportunities for error. Both sides going to need to take this one if they want a victory in the series, and it's looking fairly balanced when it comes down to Train, Louis, especially when you look at the past form for both sides.
Yes, I think coming into this, it's certainly a map which isn't the greatest for either team coming into this, but it's certainly one of these maps where both sides, they certainly have some experience. They both have some... They've got the basics, they've got the defaults, they've got some relative understanding of the map. It's not ideal for either side, but it's certainly one that both sides will relatively be happy with. And it feels as though Crazy, this might be their chance now, maybe close this out.
It should be. And remember, if you submitted your answers to Esports Millions, you can keep track of the standings at esm.grid.gg, as well as the Esports Bible on Twitter. There are 4 main gear PCs and $5,000 of Unicorn bets on the line. And of course, during Cups 3 and 4, there will be €1 million for anyone who can answer all 10 questions correctly. Go sign up for the next round over at ukrn.io/esports millions. That's ukrn.io/esports millions. The pistol needing to be big for both sides. LDLC reeling for that loss. A bit of a choke in overtime, and Body going down first on Train could be dangerous, but Lambert's replied at least for one before Sensei sends him to an early grave. And it's 3 French pistols to retake the A-bomb site.
Well, Sensei is just looking really for any damage at this point here. Haji, one of 3 players on this retake, and they do have a kit, so they've got a little bit of extra time to work with. And now though, the shot's not connecting. DemQ, he's had a phenomenal series so far. Continues his form here with 2 opening kills, and with Sixer now caught out and spotted in connector. It's just a time wasting game. See what damage you can do. Maybe eliminate DemQ, so that might be something else. Crazy for now. They've got the hard start in their favour.
They do indeed. They aren't going to lose any body armor on the 3 players to Sixer's USP, so they'll have a slight economic boon heading into round 2. At the very least, they'll be able to get a couple of rifles. LDLC looking straight away for the force buy back up into this one. It's such an early game of the economy here on Train, especially on that CT side, that this second round force is a gamble. But if you just buy in the third anyway, straight up, without as much utility, you could often still lose out there. So perhaps the force here, an opportunity for them to consolidate their true buy in round 4.
This is Train, so you can certainly expect to see scouts out. That's brilliant by Afro to open things up over on the B side of the map. Crazy weren't fully prepared to trade out, because that was literally the first peak that anyone was spotted. Afro might look to double up. That loses to the AK. Far superior weapon compared to the Desert Eagle. But a very slow start. Crazy now starts to rethink things.
Just moving around. Just having a look and a think about where they want to go, because losing a player, another player, is the precise opposite of what Crazy are looking to have happen. They try and bait Haji into going up the ladder, but he doesn't fall for it in tow, and the Flames just knocking him back, giving them info that he is still down this ladder, and they should be able to drop into him and take him out. He gets 1 kill. That's very impressive. Considering the position he was in, he keeps it in the 3-on-3, and as Crazy look towards the A site now, LDLC have the opportunity for further denial. Sergis just missing out on Body's position. Sixer does more damage with the scout, but Body's Deagle can't convert it into a kill, and Sergis does the final work. Crazy, they escape that force buy after a dangerous start.
Wasn't a perfect end, but LDLC now have to look towards pistols. So for Crazy, could be a start of a very quick 4-0 start. The map which they've played not too often recently, but it's still a map which they've not looked too bad on. A bit more history at major events compared to the French side, so they might have some advantage going forward. Now the French squad, in fact, just with a eco rush up towards lower beam. Toxic was the closest player really to it. Demq maybe looks for this solo player in Body. I know behind the smoke, back green. It's just really for LDLC search for any damage they can do.
Psycho gets the first kill with his P250. LDLC now eventually will get their free rifle. They take Afro, or rather, sorry, Afro takes the opening bullets and they take down Toxic to recover that rifle. And Psycho now, peeking around with a pistol, is still in somewhat of some danger. He's removed Haji as well. That's the rifle gone. Psycho's had all 3 kills in the round, and all of them have been with a pistol. A little bit mental.
That third kill as well just felt so clean and crisp, and well, it's certainly not an LDLC round which they're going to be finding much with. The AK is at least kept on the Crazy squad. I mean, for the T side pushing forward now, they will have the economic and weapon advantage, despite a bit of bomb damage. This is the time really for LDLC where they can afford to get 2 AWPs out, and watch this second one again. That was so crisp.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful headshot there from Psycho. And LDLC with the full gun round in tow must win this one if they want a strong start. At the beginning of Train, the CT economy can quite easily fall by the wayside up against contact-based T-side play. LDLC definitely going to be aware of that one. Keeping their money managed well. Arguably their most important job here on the CT side.
Toxic's nade, I don't think. Oh, in fact, it is going to do something. I thought Haji backed out of that, and he's on 12 HP, so he really can't commit or look to do anything else. In fact, at this point, it probably is safer just to stay in this and look for the info rather than back out and give up the map control. It's most likely a Crazy kill if Toxic gets bait from it. Back damage! Oh, I got awkward in both directions, but still a minute and still a Crazy minor advantage.
Haji still allowed to live as well. Important factor there. All the bodies alive on the CT side. A positive sign when you have to deal with these executes, because eventually those bodies are turned into killing machines, and Body will be looking to be just one of those, but he can't get anything just yet. Neither can Sixer, who goes down alongside his teammate Haji. Eventually Body has a chance, but he's put down from Ivy. And LDLC already with a save on the cards now. 2 M4s backing away, and Crazy starting strong on Train.
Vital start, and LDLC just weren't given that chance to respond. So there you are, there's the 4-0 start for the CIS squad. Ironically enough, it was LDLC who have the better pistol round percentage coming into this, but couldn't win pistol and haven't actually had a chance to win anything on a map which we always consider to be quite heavily CT sided. Afro and Lambert will keep what they've got, but in terms of a full buy, and despite max loss bonus being there, it's only really going to be some pistols to maybe support it. They could get some scouts. Buy isn't as bad as what it could have been, but it's still a risky call to go for full investment this early on, I think.
I agree with you there. Investing around those rifles is a dangerous prospect. Instead, keep everyone over that $2,500 mark, preserve that economy, and look for the full buy in the next one. Hopefully deal the damage with the M4s here too. That would be the ultimate objective, but body's taken down first. Hadji already on 44 HP. Sixer perhaps with the opportunity in Ivy. And he avoids taking grenade damage, and this crossfire setup should punish him perfectly. That AWP, timing does not work out for Sensei there. There's MQ flashed off the angle. Has to retreat as his teammate finds the next kill of the round. He wants to get it through the smoke, but instead he re-aggresses, and that is a punishment from Lambert in kind. 3-on-3 now for Crazy as they throw at least one of their players away unnecessarily.
Well, they're trying to really realistically split in towards B from multiple angles. Afro, that should have been a free kill, or it felt like it should have been. In fact, loses to Toxic, so there's your opening towards a B site from Heaven. At least the backside is clear. Psycho, I think, just has the bomb to recover. And he was really just waiting to see if anyone was overextensive. The good thing is, Hadji and Lambert might get the timing on maybe 1 or 2 kills, but it would have to be fast.
Sergis seems ready, but he turns away at the wrong moment, and Hadji punishes that. Second M4 back on the board now for LDLC. But they're both pushing from the same direction, if not angle. Psycho in trouble at close range. Hadji will take him out. Now Toxic's left alone in the 1 versus 2 situation against 2 rifled players. Not bad considering LDLC didn't buy into this round, but Toxic's found the first. Hadji taps the bomb. Second sound cue comes through, head exposed and spray converted by the Crazy player. It's a narrowly avoided loss, but Crazy pull away with the round regardless, and LDLC, they look for the full buy.
A full buy, which could have had 2 warps, but Toxic really just played that so well. Hadji expected to play maybe a little further to the right. It wasn't to be. The CIS victory and a unbeaten start certainly puts them in control, and there are at least the 2 warps out for Sixer and Lambert. I wasn't going to put it past the squad to really bring out the 2 AWPs, but the M4s now might have to help with the damage, and there's so much damage, but it's not even a kill. Finally, Afro takes down Toxic, but the AWP towards the right could cause impact, and Psycho, a massive trade, could become 2 if the AWP maybe makes a mistake now.
Oh, it's heroic, that movement to get onto the site, but he overextends deploying the Molotov, and now his teammates fall. Sergey's left alone over towards A, and now he can't get much done here with this AK, it has to be said. 2 CT AWPs defending against him. Locked deep in the site. They should have this on total lockdown. He does have a whole minute to work with, which is the main ally at the moment, is time. Making steps, giving sound cues away. Eventually they turn the right direction, and he'll have 3 players to deal with now.
Well, LDLC, they've obviously got the bomb, so they don't have to push towards it, but the angle that Sergis has might have given him a chance to go for the one-on-one Angel. Sixer at least converts it. Both AWPs at least find 1 kill as the French squad now find an opening round, and it's not quite the momentum which Crazy have necessarily lost with that round defeat, but they've still got AWPs, they've still got weapons, they've still got a good chance to maybe fight to find 6. The opening kill might be determining it. Sensei out quick, out fast, wants something, but for now, if anything, I'm amazed the Molotovs don't do too much damage.
Sensei who finds the opening kill as well, on to Hadji. Not one of the 2 CT AWPers, but at least a rifler removed from the mix in this round. Crazy now targeting over towards the B-bomb site. Not exactly the highest percentage of success over there, but with only 1 AWPer of Lambert, who's just rotated in to deal with this. The numbers suggest it's the right side of the map to attack. Lambert smoked off the first angle, has to fall back to the second, but spoilt for choice. May not have very many opportunities to find these kills. Body looking for the long flank has been punished, and Demq up aggressive has walked through the smoke into connector. How smart is that? He now gets to wait in the wings for that to dissipate and pull the trigger on some serious damage. He actually will even find Afro, who's just rotating in there. The two Warpers now left alone have to back out of the site. Crazy, they lose one and they win one just as quickly. 6-1 on the board as they hunt both the French snipers.
Well, the French snipers at least allowed to do a bit more work, each finding a kill. MQ and Toxic, the two players who just fall at the end of this one, and there won't be any more contention, at least for kills or damage. 6-1 lead is certainly one that Crazy would have been looking for, and for LDLC, this would be a great time for a pause, and they have just gone for it. Ideally, not too much has been going their way so far, and it's Crazy who they have been keeping their opponents guessing, you could say. They've been certainly mixing up lots of their approaches. Some of the plays in team main keep getting alternated. And financially, LDLC, it would again be a risk if they afforded around these AWPs. Sixer technically could drop something, so a purchase could be there.
It's on the cards. For sure, it's on the cards. It's about making the gamble, though, from LDLC. And when utility is as important as it is on Train, they wouldn't be able to acquire it with the buy in this round. Instead, they go for the light investment around pistols. And Sixer wants to use one of these two AWPs to punish Crazy early. He doesn't get the opportunity for the first shot due to the opposing flashes, and this could be an interesting setup. Pistols up aggressive with AWPs supporting at long range. It could work for LDLC, but with Body punished early, they need to recover somehow. Sixer gets the first and the second with his AWP as Haji CZ does a lot of follow-up damage, but Sergius eventually puts him to the grave. Lambert with a serious missed opportunity there to earn the man advantage for LDLC again, but Crazy stay alive for the moment.
Well, Sergius might be the key player, certainly going forward. This is a map still considered ever so slightly CT-sided, but the kills just aren't even being found, and at any point, while this wasn't a full LDLC buyout, they might be risking losing both of their AWPs, and they have now both dropped down. South Forever B250 at least getting one back for his troubles. Being overwhelmed was another trouble he didn't really want to work with. The Brazil scoreline 7-1 up. Crazy dominant and certainly in control, and this is a surprise given LDLC essentially started Vertigo and Inferno off quite strongly.
They did. It seems as though after that overtime loss there on Vertigo, where they came so close to being able to win it, perhaps the wind now has been taken out of the French sails a little bit. Smokes being deployed over on the A side as there's a quick contact play out. Toxic looking for the first kill, but he can't find it. They retreat through the smoke, and when they re-aggress, the French find kills. Two of them, in fact, before Psycho pulls one into Crazy's favor. Still with the man advantage on this CT side, now extended by Body. And with more aggression, could convert this further. Instead, he's punished by Sergius, and if Sensei's AWP is granted just a pixel, you can be sure he'll convert it into a kill.
Well, Crazy have in fact slowed things down. They want now LDLC to maybe push out or maybe overextend, and that's just the thing that they can't be doing at the moment. They've got to just keep the advantage. They can't be making any easy mistakes. This AWP, it's so threatened, or it feels so threatened because of the amount of angles it really has to check. There was still a player hiding to the right. The bomb will now be clocked in. And a massive advantage now goes to Crazy as soon as that bomb gets planted, but still an awful lot to retake, and that shot's massive because Sensei and Sergius now give them the advantage.
They both win their 1v1s. Afro alone now on the retake. Crazy, it's their turn to play it passive. If he pushes here, though, he's straight into Sensei's AWP. They find it. The recovery from Crazy, beautiful in the round, and they have certainly woken up after what was a dwindling performance in the first half of Vertigo.
That was a 2-on-3 and Crazy's, well, not their favour, their disadvantage, but they still come off better. And look, they're just dropping weapons. That's how casual they're playing this game at the moment. 8-1 up, this doesn't feel like it should be this easy, and on a map which LDLC and Crazy have been relatively balanced on in the past few months. It's not really looking like LDLC have even touched the map. They're not getting great opportunities that maybe they wanted to. Haji at least strikes one back. Molotov though might be enough to force away Haji, and it is a loss in fact down Ivy for Crazy. The kills at least have been traded, but a 2-on-2 and 2 AKs recovered. It means the French squad could still certainly make this close.
Somehow LDLC managing to strike early in that round, but this could be the mistake from Afro. You can see exactly why he wants to make this push, but Crazy expect it. He lands the shots onto the opposing AWPer though. Sensei can't get it done, and Psycho alone now has found the first player and has no info on body. Bomb recovered, but 19 HP means that the advantage lies firmly with his opponent, 1-on-1. As he looks to push through T-Con, body has no utility to work with. He's sat in ladder room at the moment, playing it cool as a cucumber. And it's all about who checks the angle. Psycho, if he swings to the right in time, he'll get it, but body has the timing instead. LDLC just about pick up their second there. Catch Crazy off guard.
Well, it's still, I've only just realised this as well. Crazy still up to half in their favour. They've won this at least 8-7, and it will be just a pause just to try and maybe stop potential momentum which the French squad build off of this now. For an Eco, a win, it's certainly amazing, but now they've got weapons. They have to wake up and win these Angels. Crazy. They'll force out what they can also, and the pause of anything probably more beneficial to them when looking at the economy. Utility might be lacking on a few of them. And as a spray goes down on the floor, it's going to be now LDOC looking maybe back towards an 8-7 half.
That certainly will be their target as they bring out both the sniper rifles once again here in round 11. Crazy. They want to use pace. Try and deny those snipers early impact. Swings round right, but Haji's there with the M4 denying the opening kill. Toxic there on the refrag and a missed AWP shot, giving him opportunity yet to stay alive in the round. Lambert trapped now around the A train. It's his teammate Body who spotted out the info, but if he swings round a sniper, sending to an early grave. Lambert whips the shot again, but Body looks for the transfer. He converts the second kill before Toxic takes him down and leaves his team in the 2-on-2. Afro has the angle on Toxic, who was trapped between two players there, and Sensei now plays the guessing game against his opposing AWPer, Sixer, who knows exactly where he is.
Well, Sensei, I thought the smoke might have given him some info, but for now he climbs to the top of Green Train. It's so risky, but it could be a reward, and it is. Crazy pick up 9, and what a one-on-one Angel to really pick up the BM there. Means LDLC won't be getting any momentum going forward, and their money again, it's in this rough place where two of them can fully buy out M4s, the rest of them dropping down to weaker weapons, and they more or less just have to commit as much as they can now in these last 4 rounds, or last 3 rounds of the half.
Absolutely, they just have to go for it, try and get the rounds on the board, and hope that you have enough of a buffer to propel a comeback on that T side. Pistol round essential for LDLC now, regardless of what happens in the rest of this half. Crazy. They deal the early damage onto Afro in this round. Toxic tagging him down. And Dem just hoping somebody goes for an aggressive push onto a train. Nobody gracing his crosshairs for the moment as Crazy. They utilize well the change of pace. They go for contact plays quickly in the last 2 rounds, and in this one they hold passive for LDLC aggression.
For me again, it's got to be LDLC finding that initial kill if they want to maybe fight back towards what's at best for them a 6-9 scoreline. And on the CT side, that isn't beneficial. Flashing by Body. Well, Demq and Haji fact other players who trade out the kills. So maybe a chance to get an opening, but teammates still a concern. He dropped. But he is stepping up, and it's a 2-on-2 becoming so quickly a 2-on-1. Sensei and Orp now just has to find Afro.
Oh, the flick of the wrist is fast enough for Sensei. But now on 27 HP, he's got another flawless 1v1 that he has to play. Afro with the FAMAS. He's guessed the angle correctly, but what side of the train does his opponent lie?
Wow.
Wait, right is the answer. Sensei, so good so far. 10-2 on train for Crazy. He's been doing work in these clutches.
He's been so good individually. What a play, and what a round to really pick up as well. Sensei, by the way, 43 kills going into this one. 55 in total on the 3 maps so far. So there's another key player who has been shining. Up to 13, the current top fragger on the server. And we have to just say, LDLC, it's not as if they've not been finding kills, because Hachi's got 10. The remaining 4 players have either 6 or 7 kills between them. So they have been finding frags, but lots of the clutches and lots of the victories have really just been 2-on-1 and 1-on-1s. So they have been keeping this close.
LDLC certainly have had a few opportunities to make this closer in terms of the scoreline than it is even. The issue for me has to be when they go for these double AWP setups, Lambert on the A bomb site, just not accurate enough with that secondary AWP. Maybe switch it onto a player like Haji to avoid being punished on this side of the map, as Crazy are doing in this. They dismantle the first 3 players in the anti-eco. I'd expect LDLC perhaps to still get a kill, as you can never know what happens when Deegs are at hand. There we are, Afro trying for it, but eventually denied. 11-2, that's insane already. LDLC with this buy, trying to earn 11-4 as the best case scenario.
Is it this overtime in Vertigo which maybe got them shut out mentally? Because ever since then, they've not done anything in terms of hope. They've had the occasional round where they've got the 2 in the half so far. They've had a couple of clutches go against them. I think the mental game is also now starting to play a game on them, and the fact that now they can only look towards maybe 11-4 is insane. Finally some hope, as long as they eliminate the AWPer and Team Main. Sensei for now not allowed to do much. A faster start gives ODLC that early advantage.
At the start of the round, Sensei thought he had a good spawn, but actually he just had a route to a quick death as the double nades take him out. In the early phases of round 14, the penultimate of the half, one of 2 more opportunities for Crazy to extend their dominant T side here on train. Haji just waiting in the wings, lurking for the moment, and LDLC with only the 1 AWP to rely on. It's got to be about this perfect utility placement here. They have to utilize it to slow Crazy down on the way in and deny kills like that. 6 attacked low and eventually converted. That's to a 4-on-4 now. Toxic is found at the very least, but the A-bomb site starting to fall away as Psycho double entries into B. Serg is found Lambert now, but the bomb's dropped with body, and his teammate Haji up towards back B. They can still put a stop to this.
This is probably the weakest position that Crazy have been in. They've still had opportunities to win lots of these clutches out. So Wannabe now climb towards heaven. Serg's beating body is certainly hopeful, because the bomb's dropped on like Haji in heaven. As soon as he makes one piece of noise, and that's his position given up. But the bomb drops. Sergers might still plant it. 5 seconds, by the way. He'll get it down in the nick of it. Thank yous are there. The M4 peaks, but nothing given yet. Sergers on top now looks to end the half with maybe 12. Haji, he needs this. So tough, but nice and easy.
That is beautiful play from Sergis there. All the utility from Haji, sorry, there. What an incredible 1v1 from the French player. Sergis, a little bit too overeager, a little bit too cautious. Doesn't catch Haji off with the flash. And then ultimately is unable to convert the 1 versus 1. LDLC will get 3 on the board then at the very least, but the buy still isn't perfect heading into the last round of this half, and I've got a strong feeling Crazy might try at a contact play here.
Started on Inferno. LDLC looked good. 16-10. Crazy took Vertigo. Now, and all progressing is a very a change of pace. Certainly gives Hadji a massive advantage. The 2 kills at least get found towards upper beam, but Lambert, Famas in fact, Pat, Q, and Psycho both get such quick kills back, and with it, an advantage.
Sixer has to push this from B. That means Afro is the only man available to defend this B bomb site for the moment until his teammate arrives in the ladder room. He's gotten there, but Sergiz from Ivy makes this a 1-on-3. Sixer looks for the first, tags both down low. Can this be back-to-back clutches for LDLC? Sergiz this time can deny. The Ukrainian side with a dominant start here on train. 12-3 up on the deciding map of this best of 3. They need just 4 rounds to close out the series, and LDLC, they'll be desperate for this second pistol in order to try and balance those odds a bit more. Speaking of odds, you can go and find some unique betting odds over at Unicorn. It has the most betting options in the world. Join today and you could get 80 euros of bets from a 20 euro deposit. That's right, a 300% first deposit bonus using code RELOG, RELOG. Now, LDLC on the T side. A lot of flashes to work with on the way in, and an opening kill found from Body. Perhaps a sigh of relief from them. They know how important this pistol is, and they've started it off well.
MQ just takes a bit more damage. And it is for Crazy, really, the hunt for a kill back. But Body finding that one back now gives the French side an advantage. And I said earlier how their pistol rounds aren't too bad. We've got a bit more work to do here if they want to maybe come off winners on train. Such a big comeback, but 1 round at a time. And it isn't impossible. So slow, so passive. The bomb, in fact, now looks to be heading its way towards B.
LDLC know at any opportunity that they could be in serious trouble if they allow kills to go the way of their opponents, so they play it passively. There's 2 players stacked up in the B bomb site. They can still put a stop to this. One of them flashed off. Toxic, he's found the headshot and stays alive, more importantly, as Sensei now rotates in, but Body on the flank. He's been heard by Sensei. The follow-up USPS headshot is good. Sensei can't find any more, and Sixer may have just had the final say in this round. Psycho in the 1-on-3 with the CZ. Triple crossfire up against him. He falls to the first Glock headshot, and LDLC take that must-win pistol.
It was a must-win. It still is a must-win for the next couple of rounds, really, if they want any standing and any chance of maybe coming off better in this series, and to get that early advantage here in the Swiss stage. The first time LDLC have at least played in the tournament. They're both on their opening games. Balls out from the CIS squad. Sensei has the scout. Pistols and armor on supporting players, and Demq. It could be a risk, but this could be so good if he gets the time and Body. In fact, just falls away. That might be such a big one-on-one angel over towards the tunnels.
He's playing this so calmly at the minute. Hadji just waiting for someone to peek up that ladder. They actually don't expect somebody to be on it at the early instance. And Dem still has a real opportunity. Hadji just trying to bait with this Galil. And Dem, as of yet, hasn't taken it. He's waiting for the perfect time to engage. They now have lost focus on him, but he knows it's too much of a risk. Instead, drops the smoke to cover himself. And LDLC have eaten a minute into this round and not obtained particularly much with it. Sensei looking for a headshot with this scout. It would be the brilliant way for Crazy to start the round, and the only way they can start to deny this B execute.
This scout's going to be so keen. If Crazy have to play retake at any point, the utility is somewhat low. The scout has to hit something. The Eagles spam not enough. Demku, the only player to get a kill. So Psycho, what chance realistically does he have to final four of them? Actually, will get the bomb plant. From an economic standpoint, the more players LDLC keep alive, the easier and the less strain on their finances. The Eagle to be kept. Psycho gets an AK as an upgrade. That would be amazing. I don't quite think anyone's going to be heading in his direction though, so should be 4 alive for the French squad after this. Crazy look towards now an eco. It's going to be at least 12 to 5 before we see a full buyout from the CIS squad.
You're absolutely right. They have to take the hard eco in the next round. No possible way around that one unless Crazy have the objective of sabotaging their own economy in this CT half, which certainly is an unlikely prospect. So the T side with the firm gun advantage. LDLC will at least be able to have a 6th round on the board, you'd expect. But they are still in a tremendous amount of danger. After that, the CTs are going to have the guns out. Crazy looking so good at the start of train. And I just can't wait for them to have the rifles again.
I hope this Zeus works. I'd love to see it used, but it's so rare it comes off useful. Eight in his face. Well, that's Body finding the damage for the resulting kill after over peak, which allows like a low and easy one. There's the occasional upgraded pistol in this buyout, but for Crazy, I don't quite think much will come out of this. Damage.
Certainly looks unlikely that they'll get anything out of this round. Just fall by the wayside by the looks of things. Haji will fall to Toxic's P250, but that's the only damage found. Now we look ahead to that full gun round. Crazy, not enough to get double AWPs. Even single AWPs would be a risk. Because Sensei's picked one up regardless.
I don't want to say utility low is a concern, but it's something that Crazy do have to be just careful with in terms of when they utilize it. You'd expect maybe some quick utility, some Molotovs, nades, pass towards A. Lots of them have been used instantly. Molotov is a safety point, at least for Toxic. Means he won't have anyone pushing him too quickly. As the resmoke goes in, it is most likely a play towards the site of B for LDLC to try and attack for.
They gather up towards the B site again, but wait before calling the actual execute. They need Lambert with the rest of the team before they commit to this one. Flashes out through Body, one of the first players out. He's going to go straight through his own smoke and be removed from the round by Dem, who's found a follow-up kill and a third from the B bomb train. 6 are left alone as Toxic gets Afro in the meanwhile. His AWP will ring true for a kill at least, but it's removed by Sensei in kind. Crazy immediately pick up 13 as soon as they can get the rifles on the board.
Of course it was an individual effort. Again, that gives Crazy that advantage to now put them up to 13. 3 more needed to then his side up to the higher stage of the Swiss group system, or the Swiss stage system. LDLC, again, a big chance. Again, another big must-win round. Needs to be converted here. The shotgun, oh no! No way does Duncan get down to even a kill with it. Lambert puts an end to that, but instant trade Sergis, insane, but Sixer at least gets one back for his troubles.
There's a minute 30 seconds left in this round, so saving definitely not on the cards. Instead, he's going to charge over towards B. and look to put the bomb down. There's an AK up above on his right, and he can't flick to it quick enough to find it. Toxic with the shots, converting the 14th, and that shotgun from Dem found a kill at actually quite long range. He didn't even get into position, but it worked out in his favor because as they're rushing him, he's not in the right cover, so he can't stand still and take a traditional gunfight. He just starts spamming left click, and eventually those shots end up with a free kill. 14-6, and crazy, they've busted up the French economy.
You're totally right, just regarding the shotgun, because the shotgun was essentially standing outside behind E-Box, and the player he was shooting at essentially still in T-main, so the distance on that weapon is pretty phenomenal, and the distance from the Deagle should be good, but for Toxic, it's mostly damage in his favor against Body's Deagle. Sensei certainly aware of this danger from upper. No rush, no fast play, but just the bait. Down in Ivy, Sergers for now. Won't be giving up too much.
Sensei gets baited out by the shoulder peek and can't adjust properly for the refrag. It's going to have to be Toxic that trades him out in this round. LDLC still with the bomb in hand. Can still go for a plant in this one. They're getting decent bits of map control over towards the A site. But with them, Q and Psycho just holding down this bomb train, especially with Sergis holding the Ivy angle, there's no way LDLC are allowed in, surely.
It's going to take quite a few crazy mistakes to really allow this site to be opened up after him. 5 bullets. Not an entire mag to play with, but still, look at the angles they've got defensively. Even on top, DemQ up there could be so impactful to just how this plays out, and more or less a crossfire from Psycho. On top, those Sergers does strike blood first, but there's the second, and it looks so easy from the crazy point of view. He wanted a knife, he got too greedy. Crazy now wants a serious point. They've made train look a hell of a lot easier than it should have been.
LDLC, they just look shell-shocked. I think you can trace all of this all the way back to the overtime round, the 1v2 against that AWP of Sensei. He was allowed to survive. And ever since then, LDLC, they just haven't looked like the same side. They threw Vertigo away, seemingly choking at the last moment. And now on train, they'd need 9 rounds in a row just for overtime. B looks to be their first target, with hopes of staying alive here.
It feels as though LDLC might just want to avoid playing train for a couple of days. Mentally, the Vertigo overtime was certainly a factor which caused them really little to do here. And one player just forced out, if anything. MQ tried to isolate that one-on-one Angels, but just hasn't safely been given the chance to get the grass, and that could have been his death, but it's a CT win anyway. A good trade-off. That name towards Sixer certainly helped as MQ eliminates Sixer.
5 on 3 now. LDLC in trouble. They send Lambert down, Ivy alone to make a play. Serg is here to deny it, though. He'll land those headshots with the M4A1S. Body and Haji, the dynamic duo, the only players who can save LDLC now in the series. Crazy cement their comeback with the victory in this round. Body finds the first kill. Haji with the second headshot, but Body now down means the AKing player is left all alone. 1 on 2. Stomps over towards that B site, but struggling for now to make his way out onto A as he has to recover the bomb. Without any time pretty much left on the clock, it's an impossible task. Sergis will clean him up at the end with a 16-6 victory here for Crazy, winning out the best of 3.
Yeah, 2-1 winners in the end of it, and that was just LDLC really not turning up. It felt so bad in the end that LDLC just weren't given the opportunity to really wake up in that. And you're right, it was Vertigo. It was that overtime loss, which certainly cost them so much. It looked so good in the early stages over on Inferno, but it just fell away at just the wrong time.
Well, commiserations to LDLC then, but congratulations to Crazy, who are the winners of this best of 3 series, 2-1. That is it from us here in terms of Louis and I on this broadcast. I do believe there is one more best of 3 still to come on this channel, though. So stay tuned, and they'll bring you that one shortly. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. System online.
others and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again in your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count on you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiven minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth, and everything in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Welcome back, folks, to the 9 to 5 here with myself, Scriv, and Dweg. We're going to be bringing you the action for the next 2 best of 3s that we've got coming up. We've got 3 Polish teams to cover, starting with Illuminar up against Wisla Krakow. 2, again, kind of very well-known names. I think this Polish scene really trying to break out and find some improvements, find that lineup that's solid. AGO for me last week looking really, really good. But as you can see, an awful lot of well-known names in these 2 teams as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've obviously got Snacks, big man Snacks, a major winner on this Luminar side, and joined with Mouse, who's kind of a big name. Veggie was playing for VP at a certain point towards the back end of when VP was still kind of going with their Polish team. But no, you're certainly right. I mean, the Polish scene, I would certainly say, has struggled a lot this year. Yes, we saw Illuminar in the Multivibes a couple of days ago where they got to the grand finals, but really outside of that victory, the Polish scene has not found a lot of success this year.
Yeah, it's been kind of difficult for them, I think, ever since. And we talk about it all the time, right? And you and I cover a lot of these teams and whatnot and follow them. And
yeah.
They've been trying to repeat the successes of their kind of forefathers almost with Snacks. And I think Bialy still sticking around. Obviously, Taz and Neo now teaming up as well onto Honoris. So not all fully said and done, but they've been coming and going and kind of falling off. I think it's safe to say. It's not controversial to say.
No, I mean, it's true. It certainly is. I mean, you mentioned the players, right? You look at Bialy, what's he been doing? He's been playing on a couple of mixed teams this year. Pasha's now streaming. He's not playing. Yes, Taz and Neo are kind of back and building this project, but, I mean, even that project hasn't been a massive success. It seems like the only one is kind of Snacks that's actually kind of making moves, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I think he was always one of the more standout players, even towards the end. Little bit of a weird time, moving to mouse sports and everything, and then moving back, and it was a little bit strange. So maybe making a few mistakes, career choice wise, but I think he has that insanely high ceiling that we all know, and it can definitely come out at any point. It's just sort of a question of how much of that was facilitated by the likes of Taz, by the likes of, I suppose, Neo and Pasha having a lot more experience in that original lineup. So because it's kind of been, I think, a bit of a time where he's swapped around a few different teams as well. Like his picture on HLTV is still him in the VP jersey, towards the end of the tenure there and whatnot. So he's clearly not been in the team long enough to have a solid lineup and a solid commitment, let's say. So I think it's kind of interesting to see how things will pan out with the way his career kind of continues going and continues finishing. So I don't think he's quite as old as some of the other members of that old VEP lineup as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, I think Neo and Taz are 33, 34, where Snacks is only 27. So he was always one of the youngest ones in the team. But one thing to kind of take into account, especially this Illuminar side, is that, it's a brand new lineup in the sense, that, they scrapped a lot of their players. They rebuilt it around Taz. Taz, Mouse, and Veggie came in as a trio signing for this lineup. But same can be said for Wisla Krakow. We saw Hades, Jedka, and Fnatic being a triple signing. So for both of these sides, it seems like they've made massive roster moves this year. And I don't know if the results have really been there. I mean, certainly for Wisla, they haven't played that many officials these last few months. I think they've played 40 odd so maps last 3 months, which really isn't a lot considering how many maps most of the tier 2 teams are playing at the moment. And really, for me at least, Hades is the only man that's been impressive for this Wisla side. Their results have not been great. They haven't been looking far as impressive, I would say, as the Illuminar side is. So I'm really interested to kind of see how this Polish derby is going to pan out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of scope here. I feel for me what's been going on with Wisla, and I've covered them a few times and whatnot, I think they've just been sticking to the MDL and trying to sort out the lineup and whatnot and give that a good go and see where they're at, but then ending 12th there. So it's not it's not a terrible result, but it's certainly not a good result. So I think it has been a bit difficult for them, and we talk about all these new lineups and getting used to each other. And I think the Polish scene at the moment is definitely there's a team there. It's just a case of maybe some internal politics, some just not realizing it, issues with that. But they definitely have the players across the board. I think if they kind of cherry pick a few from different lineups, they could create a team. And it's just a case of when that happens and when the likes of Illuminar or Wisla or AGO go, okay, we want this guy, and then suddenly that's the final piece to the puzzle, so to speak.
I think that's probably the I would say the most annoying factor at the moment in this Polish scene is it's like there is so much talent there. Why is there not success? And it's frustrating, especially for us when we see them day in, day out, struggle online. And you think you've had guys at the top of their careers that are, fetching for tier 1 at some points, and now they can't seem to do it. They can't seem to rebuild these lineups. And look, running into the veto scriv, I think this really comes down to how important what side's going to come out of this. It's actually going to be Nuke and Vertigo coming out. Now, especially Vertigo is a big map, especially in Polish scene. It seems like a lot of these Polish teams play Vertigo. So kind of interesting. We've got a lot of tactical heavy maps to start things off.
Yeah, they both play Nuke as well, so certainly going to be an interesting matchup in that sense. I'm kind of excited to get into it and to see who's going to take it. I think we are just about ready, the knife round having kind of just concluded, so I guess we'll go into those predictions. This one I feel is a very difficult one to start us off for this evening, Dweg, but still I am going to trouble you for who you think's going to take it.
I'm going to go 2-0 for Illuminar, and the reason for that is I've cast them a few times recently, and I haven't been overly impressed. I feel like they've been playing average, but it's still at a higher level than I think what I've seen from Wisla Krakow. So I'm going to go for a 2-0, if not a 2-1, but jumping into the pistol round, Squiv, let's go and kick this off. I'm so ready for this game.
Yeah, indeed. I'm excited to get underway as well. Indeed, we're getting into the action. I think I'd be inclined to agree. I think it's going to be a difficult 2-0. There's certainly potential for the 2-1. I don't want to put all my chips in, so to speak, as we can see a bit of a head-to-head there, of course, coming in. But the action should hopefully be getting underway sooner rather than later. But yeah, I feel like there's a little bit that's up in the air, right? Again, these newer lineups, but they definitely, in terms of the veto, it seems to have worked out really well.
Yeah, it certainly has, and well, at least jumping into the pest round, starting off on Nuke straight away. Wisla Krakow going quick into the upper bomb side. They get that bomb down, and they're even trying to get a few lurks coming out to try and wrap around this ramp room, especially here coming out. And you've got to think they've got to be able to land these kills. Couple of one-on-one trades coming through, but so far, Innocent is doing a great job on this pistol round.
Huge frags coming in. It's going to be down to Fnatic and Spirit to hold things down. Just Fnatic now as he gets 2 quick headshots. The bomb being diffused. It is being diffused by a Kit. He's got to get in there quickly. He doesn't have enough time. That's so unfortunate. He came so very close. But Miles on that Kit is able to get the defuse in. Some insane moments in that round. But unfortunately, it will be Illuminar coming out on top. Fnatic's going to be a little annoyed at that.
Yeah, they certainly will a little bit. And, I mean, he did a great job, right? Fnatic did at least the best he can in trying to defend that bomb site. But really, it all comes down to those fantastic shots coming out from the lobby flank. And Wisla, well, at least with a bomb plan, it will allow a force buy investment to come through. And you've got to think for the T side, this could be the response to be able to find the second round.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, right? They are already doing some good bits of damage. Spiro is going to take an awful lot early on, but 3 SMGs and only one, 2 SMGs, sorry, and only 1 M4 in play. You don't necessarily have the highest of votes for Illuminar, and I think they have to be careful. They have to play to their strengths and not get too overzealous here with some of the peaks. Well, as I say that, there it comes, right? Jedka manages to get one onto Snack. Sure, he's landed the tag so far here with that scout, but going to go down early on. There's 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. An awful lot of room for Wisla Krakow to now play with.
And they're in a really great position. You've got to think for Illuminar, they've got to try and hunt. They've got to see if they can pull back this 4-on-4. And, well, Wisla, they're just so ready for it. Mao's really the only defender here to this lower bomb site. He's got so much to do with this MP9. He swings out, gets 2 kills, but he can't find any more. And at least bring back some of the advantages. But Wisla, this should be a pretty easy bomb plan to the lower bomb site.
At the very least, right? It's a pretty decent result in that sense, although it's unlucky. It's unlucky for Reets. I was going to say if they'd have planted on the wrong side, but they are aware of the fact that they didn't necessarily have the decon control. Big pickup from Minio coming in. Ooh, nice little flick across from Reets, but left on 23 HP after that exchange. Going to look to save. So there you have it. The T side will indeed win that force by and relatively cleanly surviving with the 2 rifles they invested into.
It's actually a pretty good round coming out from Wisla, and really what it comes down to is a couple of overextensions coming out from Illuminar. I mean, you can understand it. Certainly, once they lose that opening pick, they want to try and bring back to an even playing field, but for Wisla, just so ready for it. Reeds at least is going to be able to pick up that AK. So at least there's something to bring forward into the following round. But for Illuminar, they're now going to have to force. And you got to think for Wisla, they can get off to a very good start on the T side.
Yeah, this is the kind of perfect start they wanted, to be honest. And like you say, on that T side, pretty damn good result. Keeping that CT economy down in the dumps right now. It's going to be in a terrible position. They have to force buy back up. I suppose Reeds holds on to the AK, but that's pretty much all there is to write home about. FAMAS is decent. Their utility is massively lacking. But on a map like Nuke, you can definitely make a buy like this work successfully. Wisla Krakow, though, going nice and speedy outside, keeping them at bay. Clean little headshot coming in from Minio. The scout not going so well for Snacks, and Reeds, unfortunately, only good for one. The Deagle around here. Oh, Veggie, 2 big kills coming in. Gets himself an upgrade as well. That's the exchange that they needed. The 2 versus 1 from him coming through, I think, might just seal the deal here, as Wisla went for an incredibly fast round, and it's really fallen apart. All going to be on to Hades, and he can't land the shots. Just like that, Illuminar will get the return.
And you got to think, even the timing there, like what's going on for Veggie to be able to isolate 2 of those one-on-ones with the Deagle? They should have been able to swing together, and that certainly was not the case. Reeds, he tried his best, and you got to think for Veggie, like, this is just too easy. You can't feed him kills like that. And as soon as Illuminar get that 3-on-2, they just keep aggressing, keep trying to look for that fight. And for Wisla, considering they didn't get a bomb plan, they didn't get the round success, they're going to be in, once again, another force buy. And Scriv, I'm getting flashbacks to the other day when we were casting, where it just goes back and forward, force buy after force buy.
Yeah, I believe... I'm not sure whether he penned the term, but the first time that I heard it was from good pal Hawker. He's calls them the force buy wars, which I think
like
is
that.
it's a fairly decent way of describing it, you know. I think it definitely applies to the games that we've been covering at the very least. There's an awful lot of that going on, and it does make life very, very difficult to kind of understand and keep track of the economy and decisions that you're making. You can never really be caught sleeping. That's kind of what you're talking about with Veggie in the previous round. There may well be a situation here for Illuminar where they get caught sleeping, or, you know, Snacks for me has looked a little crazy on the scout sometimes, taking some wide swings and whatnot, and in a round like this, where this is definitely an opportunity for Illuminar to crush Wisla early on and gain a strong lead, he may well make one of those decisions and cost them massively.
And unfortunately for Wisla, I mean, this was the perfect opportunity. They got that secondary round. They were able to get a really nice force buy in. And now losing that 3rd round, Fnatic's going to be able to get an AK. There's going to be pistols across the board. And I suppose Fnatic's one player, him and Hades, I would say in particular, are 2 players in this lineup that are really unknown. I mean, we speak about how many well-known players there are in this lineup, and across both these teams, I would say, especially for Fnatic and Hades, not many people know too much about these guys.
Yeah, I feel that as well. I think coming in fairly recently, like you said, and think it might have been a little bit into the MDL season already. But they look good. They look good. I particularly, I feel like Fnatic for me is a name that really does stick out whenever I think of this Wisla side. Nice little pickup coming through from Snacks though. The MP9 a bit more successful for him, and he's on the board into the 4th round. Meanwhile, out on A, they're going to try and go for the vent drop, but it's easy stuff for Mouse here. Snacks as well helping out. Jedka does retrieve the AK. However, he's now the only one left. 1 versus 4, as it's not looking too good. Does have the bomb in hand. He is here. Ooh, almost caught in transition there, but manages to land the clean headshot and get the 3rd for Illuminar.
And, you know, just a little detail at the end of that round, they obviously recover another AK, so they've got 2 in play going into the following round. And for Wisla, what it comes down to, there's no flashes on that vent dive play, and, well, it's just easy pickings coming out from the hut players with the MP9s just spamming through. And Jedka, yes, he gets into the vents, but he loses all of his teammates and really can't do anything from there. A 3-1 lead coming out for the Illuminar side, and well, this should at least be the easiest round yet for them.
One would assume. I'm pretty sure of that one, I think, at this point. It's not been that crazy. Illuminar definitely finding some stability. Wisla seem to just kind of pick up the pace on their T side when they're a little unsure, which can be very dangerous on the T side of Nuke. We'll see once they get some more comprehensive buys out whether that changes. But like you say, simple stuff. No shenanigans coming in. I feel like even losing a single player in this situation would be pretty heavily detrimental. Reet's got to be careful. But it's all good. Reet's and Innocent will indeed clean things up outside. So there you are, the 4th round. And now the 3-round lead looking really, really good. But like I say, comprehensive buy coming in from Wisla. We'll see what they've got with this, because I've not been too impressed. When they've been tested, they are just kind of rushing a bomb site down and, well, just getting destroyed whenever they do that. So we'll see. We'll see whether this works.
I mean, the money line in particular for Illuminar is really starting to grow. So if they can win out this round, go 5 rounds up, then they'll really be in a great position, gathering a lot of momentum. And when you speak about some of the early rounds, at least this time around, using utility relatively quickly, but not really getting any map control at the moment. Veggie being the single defender out towards the ramp room. And for the T side, just kind of seeing if they can spot out any aggression from Illuminar. One thing in particular is how many anti-rush nades have come out from the CT side really means that they're not holding on to too much utility at the moment.
Very true. I mean, maybe it's a bit of an idea, or I don't think they will have done it on purpose, but it's just kind of a an effect of the way that Wisla have been playing. Like this though, the outside execute coming in. Minute remaining, Snacks in and around the smoke, and unfortunately Fnatic's patience pays off. A free frag. Snacks aggression getting the better of him most of the time. However, the information is in for Reets on this Krieg. Takes a passive angle and just going to let them pass. So I suppose they will leave things down to Veggie in on this B-bomb site, who may well be unexpected and dark. Oh, it's a dirty spray down. He does manage to get one, but traded back pretty quickly, and now I think into the 4 versus 3 with no control, no information. Illuminar probably have to look to save, unless Innocent from the backside can pick up something pretty quickly here. It will have to be quickly indeed with that bomb going down, but yeah, he's about all they've got, right? These remaining 2 CTs alongside him are a little forced out. Great flash coming in, but Fnatic ready for it with the 180 spin around, and it's all fallen apart. They will all fall. I'm not so sure about that from Illuminar.
That is really quick coming out from Fnatic. And yeah, I mean, one thing to kind of keep in mind is that the money line's pretty strong from Illuminar. So even if they go for the retake and they're not successful, but they get a couple of kills, they're limiting the buy for the T side. So I'm guessing that's kind of why they went for it. But it certainly could have been a safer approach just to opt for the save. And honestly, for Wisla, they were just waiting. They were waiting for that early contact, waiting for the aggression. And well, Snacks just gives it up. He gives them the opening man advantage. And from there, they can just play the numbers game.
Yeah, like I said kind of early on, he's taking a lot of wide swings, making some aggressive decisions. He was always, you know, known for his aggression. It's not quite working here, though. The jig does seem to be up, but there you are, onto the AWP. He's found a weapon where he can find another frag. He's been on quite a few so far this game. And that could indeed be a decent one for him. Veggie, though, the timing not going to work out. Throws that utility, pops his head up, and, well, it gets taken off. The B-bomb site going to fall, at least for now. Another tough situation, another retake for Illuminar here. Mouse trying to find something from Decon, unfortunately. Molotoved off, now smoked off. Oh no, there's a flashbang coming in, but all the same, there's a T on the other side when he tries to re-peek it. That's a pretty big find from Hades, and I think, again, might just seal the deal. Illuminar now certainly need to think more readily about saving rather than just throwing themselves at the situation.
Man, I mean, they try and go for the save, but Mina are getting just a great time and a great angle into Reets. And one thing in particular I'm noticing on the City side is Veggie's having a really rough time out towards ramp. He's really not been able to kind of control it. It seems like almost every round, Wisla, especially in these previous gun rounds, have been able to take control of ramp so easily. So if I was Illuminar, I'd just bring 2 players there, at least in the early round, to kind of give Veggie a hand, because it really seems like he's just getting pressured over and over again out through ramp.
CT coming into this round, what they opt to go for. Of course, like you've said, some improvements to be outlined for the next couple. The rush in towards the A bomb site. This could be an absolute bloodbath, actually. There's so many CTs around here. However, not quite going the way that they would like. The P250, though, stands strong, and Snacks is able to work around all his teammates, bring it down to a 1 versus 1. A massive mess going on the A bomb site, but Snacks just going straight through the Molotov again. Crazy aggression coming in from the big man, and it doesn't work in the clutch. Will be Wisla Krakow picking up the 4th, but that's pretty damn costly considering there was essentially no investment, right? And they're able to buy into this round anyway.
It's a really great attempt, and it kind of comes down to Wisla just rushing that upper bomb site when there's just so many players there. And yeah, considering it was only an AWP and an M4 saved in, it's a pretty good round coming out from Illuminar. Tied up at the moment, 4 rounds apiece. Snacks with the AWP glass cannoning this time around. And well, Jedka, he tries to go quickly into the vent dive, couldn't quite find the position the first time around, but making noise rather than going down silently.
May well be part of the plan. Check back in later on in the rounds. An interesting kind of take outside here. Not very much utility being used, opting to keep the sight lines open, and having Hades check things out with that retrieved AWP from the previous round. They've managed to sneak a player down secret. Meanwhile, aggression coming in towards lobby. Not going to work for Innocent, as they are ready for it with a nice little default here on the T side. He's not ready for the second, however. 1-for-1 trades, never really ideal for that CT side, of course, but best of a bad situation. Meanwhile, the rest of the team seem to slowly but surely making their way down secret in towards B. The CTs, I mean, may well have an idea. I'm pretty sure they've had a player in A main the entire round who I think can hear the vast majority of those footsteps coming through, so they have a bit of an idea here, but yet to commit any rotations. With only 30 seconds left, though, it really could make a difference if they get ahead of things here. Surely no attack towards A, the B bomb site makes a lot of sense, but they're really playing it passive.
Yeah, they really are, and I'm surprised considering how much information they had when they pushed lobby that they knew it had to be the outside take to the lower bomb side. And Veggie is doing a great job. Stacks, look how low the time is. They need to try and get this plan through. Stacks can be able to deny everything. Spiro may just be able to get the bomb plan, but it's a 2-on-3 post plan for the T side.
Looking good then for that CT side. Okay, available though, Dweg. They've got to move in quickly. Spiro with a clean headshot as well, the hero of the round so far, managing to plant the bomb, picking up a really important frag there. Meanwhile, Hades reads. Oh no, Hades missing the easy shot. Surely that trade should have come in. That's massively unfortunate as Reach just cleans up house, and there's plenty of time to get the defuse in as well. Illuminar will retake the lead.
Oh, and that was a bit of a uncharacteristic miss shot coming out there from Hades. He really needed to hit that. And you've got to think for Illuminar, considering that this is their map pick, they haven't had the easiest time at the moment on the city side. We're seeing a very good offensive coming out from Wisla. I'm very impressed by their T side so far. Fnatic in particular, you know, one of the youngest members, one of the newest members to this squad, and honestly, all what he's been doing is holding lobby and just waiting for pressure, and it's been coming so often. Illuminar is so incredibly aggressive on this CT side at the moment.
It's really good to see they're massively scrapping on both sides, I think, and looking to take the fights. The strategic depth has yet to show itself. I suppose in the previous round we had a bit of a slower one and a more thought out kind of round. But we'll see here. Wisla needs to get this foot back in the door as quickly as possible while that economy is on the ropes. Ooh, something a bit different here. It's super deep outside execute. See whether they can make this work. Again, they like to keep these sidelines open. They like to go for the fights, but just cutting off a select few areas, it seems. Oh, and Reach, is he going to be ready for this player up close? No, turns at the wrong time. Free frag for Minio. A pretty big one to be picking up as well. Innocent, meanwhile, has got to be careful, right? And Snacks not around to help out with that AWP, just playing contact. Fortunately, no trade reveals itself here for Illuminar, and they have full control of outside. Innocent, timing going to be everything as a player is on his way to this location. Seems he's heard it. Oh no, looks away again at the wrong time. The timing for Wisla has been absolutely perfect into this round. Mal's only good for one. Veggie gonna fall pretty quickly as well. And now Snack's the only one left. Has to pick up a 1 versus 4. Has found the first, but does not fancy his chances for the next 3. So it will be Wisla evening that scoreline back up.
And honestly, it's really come down to, at least this round, timing has won it for them. Timing has absolutely won it for them, because all it comes down to is Illuminar, for some reason, had just been looking the wrong direction at the complete wrong time. And every time they'd look the other way, it seemed like Wisla had peaked. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And for Illuminar, they've got to be, pretty angry at that, because they were in really good positions to shut down their outside presence.
Yeah, it certainly is annoying, isn't it? But that's the nature of the game. That's the,
That is true.
I suppose, the RNG factor. Very little of it, of course, in CS, but that's kind of where it comes down. It can be annoying as well, though, like you say, because there's not really anything that you can do about it. I think there's a lot of things in CS where you can go, okay, we can improve by doing this, or I can improve by warming up or learning the lineup properly, or whatever it may be, right? But you can't really improve for that, unfortunately. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, and the way that things have turned out here for Illuminar is, of course, the fact that they have no money, can't really do anything into this round, so they're just going to have to wait it out. And Wisla picking up 6 rounds already on that T side is a pretty damn good result.
That's a fantastic result. I got to be honest, Wisla are bypassing my expectations on this first half. They're really looking comfortable on the T side, and it's a surprising tale, but it's good to see. And taking the lead especially puts a lot of pressure back on the Illuminar side, considering the fact they were up 4-1. One thing I love as well is how much outside presence has been coming out for the T side, and Snacks hasn't been able to do too much with it in the past. Does get 1 kill to start things off. But you really can't expect them to find too much. Snacks is still alive and he's still hitting shots. Only finds 2 kills, makes the 3rd. And Snacks might be able to try and bring this back. USP up, 4 kills now coming up for Snacks. And it's all down to Hades with this AWP. Snacks, we can't find the ace. But Hades trades it back into a 1-on-1. And it's up against Innocent, but he's picked up an AK. Oh my goodness, they win it out. USPs and an AWP have... I mean, you said that it was the 6th round for Wisla.
That's insane.
Mate, I can't believe they win that.
Absolutely insane. I thought they would be in with a solid chance, right? I think obviously you're a bit of a fool if you're betting against Wisla in that round. And the fact that we have actually seen them be so incredibly effective against those eco situations, even with the fast pace, even there was a good couple rounds where it was like, okay, they're rushing into A here, this could be a bit risky, there's a lot of players around. But they managed to cleanly do it in the past. But I suppose testing fate one too many times. It cost them in a big, big way. They've bought into this round, handed a free frag early on by Innocent, trying to creep down into the vents and get ahead of the B push here. Watching, he will, indeed go down. And Hades, beautiful stuff here from Wisla. This is very well thought out, right? Placing that guy in vents early on, fantastic. Leaving a straggler behind the main pack. Absolutely brilliant. This is beautiful stuff from Wisla. They have come back into this round with an absolute vengeance. Snacks once again having to do all the work, but I think this time it might be a bit too much for him.
And they've got no money for the Illuminar side, so yeah, this is a perfect response coming out from Wisla. Snacks, it seems like really he's the only one doing damage at the moment, only one finding impact on the CT side. And what I love from Wisla is they're just so far ahead, I would say, of their opposition in terms of reading the game. I mean, the outside presence, they're not being quiet about it. They're being very noisy. And Hades says, you know what, I'm just going to hold back just in case anyone pushes through. And, they're just reading Illuminar like a book at the moment.
But yeah, that's one of those rounds where it is kind of artistry, I think, from Wisla as well. But this is a little bit dire. The fact that, it's being kept even in the grand scheme could be a good thing if this carries on. But with it being Nuke, you kind of expect the CT side to be the stronger side, to be the ones coming out on top of it. Snacks really turning things around, by the way, looking at that scoreboard. I think it took him 4 or 5 rounds to actually get a frag. And he's all the way up to 14 at the moment. So looking pretty good in some of the recent rounds. Oh, goodness. That's a bit of a risky peek coming in though, and now he's caught in no man's land. But my goodness, Snacks is hitting some quick ones on this AWP. He will be tagged down to half, but he has done a decent job here. Oh, but that's it, right? He gets overzealous, he gets over aggressive. Sometimes it's massively successful, and other times it can cost them in a big way. We'll see how the rest of the CTs recover things back here. Another player going to be caught outside. Not looking good. Trying to take the fights. Hades will delete him off, though. That Krieg doing an awful lot of work into round number 13.
And you know what we certainly have seen a lot of recently, Scrib, is just outside presence with no smokes. I'm really not a big fan of it. I really disregard a lot of those strats where they just take outside presence with very light utility. And the reason for that is, yes, I suppose this round it works out, but Snacks is really, if he was positioned right, then he could have easily found a couple of kills. It was only because he got aggressive outside that he went down. Oh, great shot coming out from Reeds, and you've got to think they've got to try and save onto these weapons. I mean, it was a force buy coming in, but considering it's a 2-on-3 and it's a post plan to the upper bomb side, they just can't retake.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair though, right? Keeping the economy modest, recovering the stronger weapons of the round. And kind of be happy in that sense. But again, to reiterate, 7th round coming in for Wisla. This is a pretty damn good T side. If they go into the CT side with an advantage, and potentially a solid advantage of 3 rounds, I mean, they could be very, very happy. As well, like you've said, they have some kind of questionable actions here on their T side with the way that they are approaching outside from time to time, with the speed at which they moved in some of those earlier rounds. It cost them, I think, 4 rounds in a row, maybe 5 rounds in a row. And they have bounced back in a really big way, as you can see. Okay, so it was 3 in a row, but it was a 4-1 in total.
Yeah. And honestly, Scriv, this is not what I expected. I mean, I probably casted Wisla, I would say maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and you know, these guys really didn't impress me at all. But it seems like, you know, they're putting in the time. They really are grinding it out at the moment. We're starting to certainly see the tactical nature that they have. I mean, yeah, look, there certainly has been a couple of times where it's been a little bit questionable. But overall, considering this is the T side of Nuke, it's a map they don't really play. It's a map they don't have the best results on. And you're facing against a team like Illuminar. This is very impressive stuff from them. And they've certainly been doing their homework.
Yeah, definitely. Looking really, really good. Like I say, I think they have kind of been focusing on themselves, right? And there are multiple ways in the online realms of going about that. Hold the point, though, because we're going to see a fast round coming in once again from Wisla. Snacks to open up. Again, up against the USPs. Got to be careful here. Jedka is leading the way and looking clean, though. Down goes Ritsu as the other danger man with that Krieg. And there will be a couple trades coming in, but ultimately to no avail. Snacks just looking to hold on to his AWP once again. Taking another name, so it does end up being costly, but I don't think they're too bothered about that. I mean, the money's not insane, actually, for Whistler, so they do need to be careful. Okay. Snacks maybe looking to go for it. There's not a lot of time here. He'd have to hit the headshots pretty quickly. Maybe he's got permission from his boys. Unfortunately, not going to work out, as Spiro will drop him. And I feel like saving that up into the final round of the half, Snacks, would have been a bit of a better decision. But you do you, my guy.
So that's a funny thing to think about, whether, like, you know, Snacks is asking his younger teammates, oh, can I go for it, boys? Like, am I allowed to? Like, you know, considering how much of a veteran player he is. But that certainly, you know, could be on the cards. You know, you got to respect all players, no matter what age they are. And, well, for Wisla, if they got 9 rounds on T, this would be an incredible first half. And I'll tell you what, Scriv, they might just be able to do it.
I think so. I kind of have high hopes for them. And they are looking very good. Like I say, I think they have taken the time out and really worked on themselves, and perhaps looking to improve round after round after round. Beautiful peek coming in from Jedka. See you later, Mouse. There goes that. That's an early opener coming in for Wisla. Exactly what they wanted into the final round. Spiro is low, but all the same, Veggy's been having a difficult time on ramp. They're going to look to isolate him at the very least. He's trying to take the fights here. He's good for 1, but that's it. Not enough at this point. Someone needs to be the hero. Someone needs to multi-frag. And will it be Snacks on the auto shotgun? Over on the B bomb site. Certainly not an expected position. Oh, look at him go as well. He waits patiently, picks up 2. That might just be all they need. Hades from the back end will take down Reeks, but now it's an AK for Snacks. Hades, who's just an absolute madman, peeks straight into him, takes him down, leaves Innocent with everything to do, and Hades is actually the hero of the round. But it's for the wrong team. Illuminar are not able to get their 7th on the board, and it's not a good half in the end.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, I certainly gave a little bit of criticism coming out to Hades a little bit earlier into the half. And, you know, he wasn't hitting the shots that is normally expected of him. But as they started winning rounds, as they got momentum, it seemed like his AWP was just firing off. And you have a look at that Illuminar side, 19 kills and 10 deaths for Snacks. But it's just, it hasn't been enough. This has been a really poor first half coming out from Illuminar. They looked ever so shaky on the gun rounds. They had a 4-1 lead. They let that lead slip away. And for Wisla, 9 rounds on the T side. You've got to think going on to the CT half that they are pumped with confidence at the moment.
Looking very, very doable indeed here. Just to remind people as well, this is in fact the pick of Illuminar, something that we've not highlighted massively. We did very quickly skim over the veto as they got started nice and fast, which is always good. But yeah, so this is the pick of Illuminar, and going into Vertigo next, both teams do play it and whatnot, but you would assume your pick, your strength. Sure. But we'll see here. 5-7 for Fnatic, couple nades coming in as well, which is certainly interesting. The kit player not having a smoke is something a bit different, but the 5-7 hold things down, looking good. The anti-strats clearly paying off. Veggie, though, is finding the kills right now. Jedka's still alive, however, and he stands strong on the rafters. The P250 of Innocent to try and finish the round. He picks up 2 quick ones, spots out the third. I'm going to look for the bomb plant at the very least. Left on half HP. Anything appears to be possible in this round, in this game. And we'll see. The mind game's now coming in. Spiro seems to have a read on it, though. He's moving towards the B-bomb site ahead of time. Certainly not going to get there in time, but will be arriving shortly.
And Spirit is going to get that information that it is, in fact, the lower bomb site. Now, for Innocent, he doesn't have a massive amount of HP to work with. He does have a P250 that can allow that one-shot headshot potential. And, well, he's heard the footsteps. Spiro making a lot of noise towards his lower bomb site, trying to take the fight. Innocent so low. And, well, in the end, it will be yet another round for Wisla. And you had to think that had to be a pistol round for Illuminar. At least with a bomb plant, it can allow the AKs and the Galil bar to come forward.
See whether they opt to go for that. I feel like at this point they kind of have to. I also think it's in their nature, to be honest. So it would make sense, but they seem to be hesitating. Maybe just going to look for the half buy, or maybe even the full. Nope. Okay, never mind. They were just kind of thinking about it. Innocent does indeed pick up the AK.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
So only one player buys, while the rest of them are just on a very light eco.
Huh. I suppose he'd max 10 in the next round or something.
Well, yeah, probably just like a Galil or a Mac 10 or maybe even a Deagle while the rest of them get the rifles up. And really what Innocent's trying to do here is see if he can be like the damage dealer in this round. See if he can take members of the CT side down, keep the economy low. But it's kind of like the hero AK strat, but only one AK and nothing else. And you've got to think for Illuminar, the pressure's on them. The pressure is absolutely on them for them to strike, because really, we have not seen great stuff from them so far on Nuke.
That is for sure. And with a buy like this, it's, as we say, interesting. A word I think that gets thrown around quite a bit in casting, because it does suit a lot of situations. But this one it definitely applies to. And also the fact that he is kind of being proactive and just charging in rather than baiting out the pistols and maybe being that second or third man into wherever they choose to attack. He's literally just run outside, taken a quick fight, and now they're just sat waiting for aggression. Ooh. Might have his opportunity in just a second. Wide swing comes in. He does get tagged. Maybe not the best, but I guess as armor dotted about, could drop that AK now to someone else that he's done his work and found his frag. Not going to go for it, though. Moving up to heaven. Waiting for all the pistols to come in. Spiro in a great spot at the back vent wall. This. Oh, no. He doesn't get a single frag, though. And the auto shotgun missing all its shots as well. It's very nearly fallen apart here. At the very least, it's big damage coming in a bomb plant as well. Oh no, Jedka runs out of ammo. Minio the only one left. Up against Snacks now. 9 HP for Snacks. Not looking too doable for the auto shotgun, but you never know. It has been a strange round. Not going to happen, however. 11th for Wisla Krakow coming in, and it will indeed. Pretty hefty advantage for them, but massively costly, and you never know, Illuminar might opt to, I think they definitely will opt to buy here, actually, with that bomb plant.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great round, and all it starts off with is that AK, and you're right, it's a bit of a surprise that he's taking a really forward approach rather than kind of baiting in the pistols to find the trades, but they find that opening kill, they get the 5-on-4, they dive straight into that heaven position, straight into the upper bomb site. They get a bomb down, they get 4 kills, the XM even comes out to do a little bit of damage from Snack, so all in all, it's not a bad round, and we're going into the rifles in round number 18. That bomb plan is not going to allow Innocent to upgrade any further, so he's just going to be on a Mach 10. Very light utility for the CT side, I should say. And Hades, well, that's a great opening.
Indeed, looking good. Looking very, very good, actually, for Wisla here. If they're able to take this round, particularly without a bomb plant, they demolish that Illuminar economy. Not enough loss bonus built up just yet. They will double the scoreline. They will be in a very, very comfortable position indeed.
Yeah, even the info that Mino's getting saying, well, we're seeing some movement outside or hearing some movement outside of lobby, might actually give them the wrong information, because this looks to be an upper take to come out.
See how they react to it. The Molotov not quite going to land, and Fnatic missing an awful lot of shots. They've made it down the vents. They've seen all this information, and Hades is ready with that AWP. Picking up 2, Fnatic on the top side, catching the straggler, and Mouse and Innocent, meanwhile, was outside with the AWP, hoping to catch anyone off guard, you know, wanting his frag, wanting to contribute. Unfortunately, nothing comes his way, and now looking dead to rights in theory. They are a little bit split on the CT side. But yeah, in the side here, Spiro's patience pays off. Just hiding the entire round is able to find the trade pretty quickly. Bare minimum of 3 there to Egg as well, so looking very good. And like I say, without that bomb plant, it's not in the most horrific position, but it's not in a great position right now. The T-side economy is not going to facilitate the best buy.
I just don't get that round. Like, they go for the vent dive, they've got a smoke out for main, there's no flashes, there's no smoke for the vent dive. Do they just not expect they're not going to take any covering fire? I just don't know. Illuminar, this is a super poor performance from them, and I don't know how they come back from this. I don't think they do come back from this. The fact that the money line's starting to build on the CT side, they're forcing in round number 19 just to get something going their way. At least this time around, using their utility well, trying to fake the upper side, going quick out towards ramp, and we're all ready for Wisla. They're just falling back, they're playing passive.
Yeah, definitely a weird one here. Inyo going to be the man to hold things down. Hades, though, looking ever reliable on that AWP, you know. He's been fragging pretty damn consistently. Peggy will take down Spero into a 4 versus 4. Inyo not really able to find too much. Smoked out as well, but Jedka capitalizes on a distracted T side. Still not the most solid of advantages, but looking workable here. Got to be careful, particularly on this upper bomb site right now. Only the one player directly on the site. Hades will move to a better position at Heaven and continue to hit shots. He cannot miss right now. Mouse, meanwhile, under the map, trying to catch some of the rotators. All the timing just getting away from him there. Jedka has no idea, though, so surely a frag. A little bit awkward. We'll take him down, but now he's the only one left. This position going to be known. Quick little spin around. Okay, this becomes a little more interesting. Fnatic's on 6 HP. There's only 15 seconds left, though, and Fnatic peeks out at the right time. Wasn't ready for him at the back of the silo. 13 for Wisla. A little closer that time, but they keep on winning.
And this is now 8 rounds in a row from Wisla, if you take into account the back end of that first half, Screw. And you've got to think, for Illuminar, I mean, this is really scary. This is certainly not what I expected. They're going to take attack, think things over, because they have not found a lot of success. Snacks in particular, I think he got, what, 17 kills at the end of that first half, only sitting on 21, not really finding too much of an impact at the moment on this T side, and, well, no one really is.
This was kind of the worry, right? You don't get off to a strong start in your first half. This is kind of how it can go. And I think it can deflate you a little bit. It doesn't give you as much room to make mistakes.
9 deaths from Hades. That's insane.
Man's having a mad one.
Yeah.
He is indeed having a mad one. Snax on the other side of things looking pretty good, but he just doesn't have the support right now. And we do have to ask how many of those kills have been at the tail ends of rounds attempting clutches to no avail. So, impact frags, folks. Stats don't mean everything. All right? As you can see, only 6 rounds for Illuminar. That's what I tell myself when I only pick up 10 frags in a matchmaking game. But either way, they've made their way onto the B-bomb site incredibly quickly here, Dweg. This could actually be a bit messy for Wisla if they're not prepared.
They've come in so many rotations, and for Illuminar, they're going to go back to A. This is actually not a bad idea whatsoever, considering how many players have rotated to try and defend this lower bomb site. And this could potentially be quite an easy bomb plant for the T side. Spiro in the backline's already getting the information, and he can call all the rotates up from his teammates.
You need to be careful. This hut position has a lot of bodies around it right now. But certainly an interesting one, because Wisla have come in from unorthodox positions. Normally there's a lot of pressure at Heaven, there's a lot of pressure at Mini, but not going to be the case here. Looking good though on the cleanup. Nothing too crazy as to be expected. Reach does get 2 on the tail end, but ultimately to no avail. And indeed, against the weaker weaponry, Wisla are able to come out on top. It's a nice idea from Illuminar, and if they had some AKs, if they had some AWPs, you know, maybe like some utility to keep them at bay properly. But because of the weakness of the buy, there's just not a lot working for them.
And I certainly think that Wisla would have maybe played that round a little differently if they knew that the opposition had rifles. I think what they just wanted to make sure that that bomb plant wasn't going down, and that's why we saw so many rotates to the lower bomb site, because for Wisla, they were like, right, main concern, don't let that bomb go down, because it's going to allow a pretty good round investment to come back into 21. Illuminar, what can they find here? No money to go for the AWP to back up Snax. He's just going to be on an AK. And you got to think for the counterpart, Hades doing a lot of work on this city side with this AWP. And pretty slow stuff coming out from Illuminar. It seems like they don't really go outside much on the T side.
Yeah, it's a juxtaposition, I suppose, from Wisla.
Got so much info, man.
Oh, cost him his life,
okay.
though. Cost him his life. So it's a pretty big trade-off, and the information kind of stops. But, like you say, for the first time in a long time, it does appear, actually, Illuminar hitting the outside area. Up shot misses from Hades, but he's able to back away at the very least. Illuminar with the best chance that they've had so far in this second half. They do need to be converting this, really. It's very important late on into the game with their own map pick, but they line up. The team kill coming in from Miles. He also takes down Fnatic. He is just colorblind right now. Does not care what side you're on. Hades, meanwhile, still alive, still fragging, still looking good. So many low HP players, but with the AWP, it doesn't matter so much. Actually, that was a big one to find onto Veggie. 15 combined HP, but going down, and Minyo has an idea. There's someone outside. Unfortunately, doesn't recognize that Innocent is behind him. So Illuminar will indeed pick up their 7th round. It ends up being a bit more costly in the end, but they can do it, and keeping them away from 15 for as long as humanly possible is what it's all about at the moment.
I like that round coming out from Illuminar. You know, they establish the presence outside. They try and force Hades very deep with that AWP in secret. Then they kind of go back. They try and take the upper bomb side. The trades come out really nicely. Yes, Hades has a bit of an impact there towards the end of the round. And, well, forcing into it, they didn't have to entirely, but they think they've got a pretty good idea about it and a pretty good chance of trying to reset the money line. Jenka with his deagle, trying to strike out, doesn't find anything, and that Mag 7, could be on the backstab.
Unlucky. Unlucky. No madness from the Swag 7. I think the rest of them are going to look to save as well at this point. So Illuminar getting a solid foot in the door here in the second half. Definitely does that beg that old question of whether it's too little too late. We shall have to find out as things turn out. Okay. Innocent losing that fight against the Deke. Not ideal. Maybe an opportunity for a bit more money to be made, but no, Snacks, he's recovered. I thought it was a Mac 10, but no. You should keep it, mate. Hit that inside bomb site over and over with the weapon of mass destruction.
That was nice. That was a good peek coming out from Snacks, and that's a little bit of money, a little bit of added bonus there. But the force buy not quite being successful for Wisla Krakow. But the thing you got to think about, Scriv, is that they only need 2 rounds, and it doesn't matter if it comes off a force buy, or it's a rifle round, or it's a half buy, if it's an eco, whatever it is, they only need 2 of them. So for Illuminar, they need to make sure that they're not making any mistakes going forward.
It is a very difficult situation, right? And we're seeing that they have potential here. It's just annoying that it takes them a bit of time to get it going, and they'd had buys previously and whatnot. And like you said, they weren't hitting outside very much. And then as soon as they start moving outside, giving Yard a bit more focus, well, it starts working, doesn't it? What do you know? Should work for another round here. Of course, more pressure on Lobby this time around, but all the same. Position from Minyo could be absolutely massive. Just waiting very patiently, though. Maybe trying to bait out some utility. There's not much to bait out. Oh my god, if he'd have hit that one. It looked close. Not quite fast enough, unfortunately.
And you'd have to think that if Illuminar were in this situation, they'd just be pushing on the city side. But Wisla, they're really passive. They're just waiting for some of these angels to come out. But unfortunately, they haven't found the most success, I would say, so far. Mino, looking for a little bit of information, Hades may actually stop them going lower. And if Mino takes down Reese, this is going to go back into 3-on-3. But what a shot coming out. And well, Hades, he's got to try and save onto this AWP.
A similar kind of situation. Not going to happen, though. The previous round successful. This round, not. They're not looking too good. They're going to half buy as well, playing it kind of safe here. Could have gone for a full buy, you know, a stringy one at best, but we'll see how things go here. I mean, this is the round, isn't it, where Illuminar quite possibly lose out. Always seems to be the case, particularly against a lobby rush like this. Yeah, Malzor, he's going to regret this decision. They all line up for him. He does so much damage, but the frag doesn't come in. Snacks as well's tagged down outside. I would imagine a duel with Spiro going awry as he finds another tag. Does go down, but certainly done enough damage that these pistols and the blind spray through the smoke could certainly make the difference. This is looking pretty good for Wisla.
What was that? That was insane. And things are looking really good, Scriv. This is a 4-on-3 advantage. Snacks is low. Now, you said that there could have been a possibility here for Wisla. I think there's a damn good possibility.
It's looking very, very good, right? And I think they have this kind of carefree attitude where we have Illuminar, who are perhaps worrying, shaking a little bit. This is not the round you want to be losing. They're very split as well, and moving very slowly means that once again that timing that they've not had a great deal of go their way is going to be a deciding factor, so to speak. Moving towards heaven, Fnatic ready and waiting. 3 HP. Oh, the off angle doesn't work out. Can't get there fast enough. It does, however, set up Minio underneath. Peggy gonna go down. The bomb revealed. Now a 2 versus 2, and they know that there is indeed that player underneath. Hades, meanwhile, has yet to make his way over and does not have a weapon retrieved. Timing once again going to be everything. Reets over at heaven, watching down below. Needs to be careful. Does indeed peek down at the right time. Takes a pretty heavy tag, and the AK retrieved by Minio could make all the difference, but no, Reets is too fast to the mark. Can't find the headshot, and that will be the 10th coming in for Illuminar. It is so very costly, but they managed to get it on the board.
That's a great round, considering it's a half by attempt. They had, what, a scout, couple of upgraded pistols. It turns out a really good round. They get 4 kills, turn into that 1 versus 1, making it very expensive. At least the economy line's pretty built now for Illuminar. That it's going to be a pretty difficult task to try and reset it, especially with them on the comeback. And now Wisla. It's been a little bit of time, Scriv, since we've seen them on a rifle round. But into round number 25. They get the AWP out for Hades. Outside presence coming out from Illuminar. Quite heavy at the moment. Quite a lot of players outside.
Again, this seems to be where they've found some good success. I'm not sure how Innocent gets away with that. Just walking into Mini. The nade does barely any damage. Spiro, meanwhile, gives Innocent a taste of his own medicine. Now on to Hades. The back calls. Oh, looking good on the AWP as always. 4 versus 3 coming in. Got a molly as well to play with. So a nice little exchange there in the halls will give Wisla the advantage.
Illuminar, how do they try and bring this back? You've got to look for snacks, I would say, considering how much impact he's been able to find. They're going to try and split into the upper bomb site. Now, the most difficult position they're going to have to deal with is trying to see if they can check out Spiro if they split in through main.
40 seconds. The whistle of the wind is all we hear. Once again, Illuminar certainly slowing things down. Fnatic going to be that first line of defense. Oh, got to be careful. Looks away at the wrong time. Flash coming in for Spiro. Meanwhile, will be the second line and not going to be able to find anything on the A site. They both ball in the 4 versus 3 where Wisla had a decent chance. They missed all their shots. And I think that will be the 11th going the way of Illuminar with Hades and Minyo no choice but to save.
Okay, we're now getting into dire straits for Wisla. They are choking this lead. They are really choking this at the moment. It was a 14-6 scoreline at one point, Screv. And, well, Illuminar, they're looking a lot better. They're bringing these man advantages back. They're closing out rounds. They're opening up bomb sites, finding map control a lot of the time quite easily. It seems like Hades is doing a pretty good job at the moment, but it's not him finding enough impact. And the reason for that is he's playing a lot around that secret position, a lot outside, but a lot of the time, they don't give him any information or they don't give him any opportunities for him to frag anymore in the positions he's holding.
Definitely does seem to be a solid adjustment coming in. Which is good to see in a sense. Pause coming through as well here, Dweck. So certainly looking to talk things over. They realize the situation that they are in. I think Illuminar also, you know, on the cusp here, right? It's very, very close. It may not look 3 rounds seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, when that CT side economy is they're not looking too good, it's actually not a big gap at all. And again, Illuminar's pick, weak start onto the T side. I, for one, as I'm sure many of us did, felt like this one was going to be going to Vertigo pretty speedily. But Illuminar have really pulled it back and looking to use those individuals as much as they possibly can. Started attacking the outside area, and it's all turned around. So I'm pretty impressed in that sense so far. It's another question as to whether they can actualize this into the full comeback.
Well, this is like the meaty rounds, you know, getting late into those like 25 to 30 round portion, really when it comes down to the wire and it comes into trying to hold an economy game. There is the Force Fire coming out for the CT side. It's a pretty good one. Not a massive amount of utility and fast outside presence, at least coming out from Innocent, but he's alone. This is a solo fake, so really what the T side are going to be probably trying to do is see if they can take that ramp control, split into that lower bomb site, and have Innocent on a late lurk to try and cut off those rotators.
Minute and 10. The clock winds down. Spiro, when the flames dissipate, looking to go for a peek, and he'll win the fight against Innocent. There goes that avenue of attack that you were talking about. And now into a 5-on-4. Going to slowly try and make their way through the smoke. And, well, Jedka, his brain is too big. He is ready for that play. Drops the bomb out in the open. Gets up close. Beautiful play coming in from Jedka. Swaps across to the AK, looking for more. My goodness, Jedka, the one-man army. As he finds 3 on his own. A beautiful round. So smart. And that will get Wisla their 15th.
And that just comes down to mistakes from Illuminar. Honestly, they needed to leave that late lurk, not looking for a fight. It looked like they tried to go for a vent dive smoke and see if they could split lower with that teammate they had out through secret. But even the smoke, I mean, a massive gap on that left side, and, well, it's just easy pickings coming out from the CT defense. Illuminar, what we saw, a huge comeback coming forward. It's going to be even more difficult. They want to try and bring us to OT. 4 rounds in a row is needed for the T side. And for Wisla, I mean, that last round was a huge success for them, even confidence-wise.
Here we go, then. Do or die for Illuminar, particularly for Snacks, as he leads the charge. Seems to have an idea there's a man in the warehouse. He is correct. Takes down Spiro. Gap in the smoke here, so they do need to be careful of Jedka's position after such a great round in the previous. He will be looking to do one better here. Minio, meanwhile, going to get tagged up and finished off by Veggie, so looking good for Illuminar. 5-on-3 early on, minute left on the clock. They've got a lot of room to play with.
They've got a lot of options. They've established so much outside presence, and, oh, Mouse, he would have... Did he hear the footsteps? He may have heard something, but his attention coming at the right time. And, well, this is just an absolute cleanup coming out from Illuminar. Wisla, not the response they were looking for after finding map point. And Hades going to try and see if he can hold on to this AWP. But Illuminar, I mean, trying to hunt this down and take this AWP out of play wouldn't actually be a bad option at all.
Yeah, very true. They've got cash. For the most part, I suppose Innocent not so much, but should be all good. But I'm not sure if they want to take any chances. Also, Hades has been hopping off, as they say, as you can see there with beautiful shots and managing to get a close one onto Reeds. Lovely stuff. Unfortunately, re-peeks into that same angle, and Snacks will take him down. So they do eliminate the AWP. Money to buy up on the Wisla side of things, and indeed get the AWP. Beautiful stuff on the replay, though. Illuminar not quite done yet.
And you've got to think, Wisla, 1 round, that's all they need. But the problem here is, Scriv, is they're buying on the 28th. They won't be able to buy into the next. So, really, they're only going to have 2 more gun rounds in regulation if Illuminar keep winning. 3 more rounds to OT. And they're just waiting for the aggression. I mean, I don't doubt them. Wisla, they could certainly be under pressure here to try and get aggressive.
They have to do something, right? They have to be proactive somehow, and it's really a difficult scenario. Snacks, oh, spots him out on the edge of the smoke. It was only a matter of time, I think, for Jedka. They were both trying to make the same kind of play. Once again, Illuminar with the great opener. Minio could go huge here, playing it safe. Molly gonna go in, should split them up. Actually, it makes his job a little easier. A lot of damage done onto Mouse, but no kills. Playing it super safe there. If he'd have gone for the nade, if he'd have maybe stuck around, you never know. Could have been the hero play, but not to be. 40 seconds left, and Illuminar slowly but surely gaining areas of control. Tag comes in onto Innocent. They again are incredibly lucky here. Minio, meanwhile, will drop Veggie. Spiro in a great spot as well if they walk into this meat grinder.
And the time's so low, Illuminar, they need to get a little bit of a move on. Spiro doesn't find anything. Hades goes down and will